fighter's favorite.
That's great.
Welcome back to Southpaw TV. I got a special guest in the building, the lovely Miss Danielle. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong. Let me know. Danielle, Danique.
Yes.
Yes, Danique. My bad. My bad. You are really big on TikTok. Bang. My boxing point of view on TikTok. What made you get into, the social media aspect of boxing, real quick?
Well, I got into boxing just being the only girl in my family and just really picking a sport to love. And I fell in love with boxing. So, I've been watching boxing since I was a kid. And I'm always on social media. I'm on TikTok a lot. And I would just look at reels. And I noticed that there really wasn't a big population on TikTok for boxing. More, it wasn't as saturated as it was on Instagram or YouTube or something like that. So I noticed there was a gap. I put up my page, and I think the first one that I put up, it was just a random video, and I think I got 8,000 views or something like that. And I was like, oh, this might actually do something, So then I started just keep going on. And then I think my biggest video was maybe 700,000 views, something like that, but every time I post, I always get views, I get comments, I get people, arguing in the comment section. And sometimes I'll try to go back and I'll be like, okay, let me maybe say something. But the comments get so crazy that I'm staying out of this.
The internet will always win. Them comments they will hit you with a million comments and you lose. You know what I'm saying? I don't even bother.
Comments go crazy. So I'm not gonna get involved with that. And then so from there I got involved with Fox Sports Radio. So I'm on Fox Sports Radio and I'm on with what's happening in sports. And they talk about all different types of sports, but I'm the boxing analyst. So I go on there and I talk about all the post conferences, the post fights, the upcoming fights, and things of that nature. Everything related to boxing with Fox Sports.
Nice.
I work with them, yeah.
Hit that like button on the way in. If y'all tapping in, like my stream on the way in. If you're on Rumble, like my stream. Let's get to it. It's Female Fight Week. We just spoke on this right before we got on stream. I think that females deserve more traction. They deserve more views. I like women's boxing. I used to box myself. Right. Every boxing gym got that female fighter who's giving it her all.
Right.
I like watching women's boxing the same reason I like watching women's basketball. It's about ego, but they fight from their heart. They don't care if they get hit. They don't care if they get ugly, bloody. They put their all into it. That's why I like it.
Right. I agree. I definitely think that women's boxing is definitely changed from when Layla Ali was boxing. When Layla Ali was in the sport, this sport was nowhere near as big as it is now. And, now we have huge major stars. I think a lot with Layla Ali, if we had social media the same time that she was boxing, if she would have been the mega star that Layla Ali would have just been tremendous because her father's already the GOAT, her father's Muhammad Ali. And she was already popular because of that. But because we didn't have the push of social media, I think that was a huge, reason why she didn't become the mega star that Carissa Shields is now, Alicia Baumgardener is now, Katie Taylor is now, so I think that social media has a lot to do with the push of women's boxing, which is really a good thing.
Yes. She was to me. Hey, shout out to Ron from Fight Hype in the building. I appreciate you, bro. I think she was the original Miss Looks and Hooks. That's my opinion. She was the original, because it matters. She is the one. It matters. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Easy on the eyes, and she was a killer. She was a killer, which is the most important thing. But love Layla Ali. I'm glad you brought her up.
Yes, me too. She's one of my favorites. I love Layla. I think she's so beautiful. I love her father's one of my. It's probably my favorite boxer. Period. Because not only was he a beast inside the ring, he was a beast outside of the ring. He was a great advocate for the people and for his cause, and he was just everything that we need in today's society. Muhammad Ali was, and that's who she was raised under, and she carried on his legacy, and she still really continues to carry on his legacy. Great. I love Layla, so
I like her cooking show. Hey, she be cooking, right? She a cook. I was like, that shit look good. Everything she makes, okay, I would eat that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what's crazy? I was just watching, I don't know if you watch, I was watching Khalila Ali, his first wife. She would just I think it was the Art Dialogue that she was just on. And she was talking about him, his young years. She was talking about Layla's mom and, how he got with her, just so many different things. So if anybody gets a chance to check out that interview, it was actually really, really good. And she looks amazing. She's has to be like in her late 80s, and she looks
Oh
just
shit!
beautiful,
Damn.
gorgeous. Yeah,
Respect people who take care of themselves. I was just talking
right. Me
about,
too.
health is very important to me. You know what I'm saying? Staying healthy, not drinking or smoking, or
Hmm.
I just think I take it very seriously. You know what I mean? Me, I'm
Right.
44. I'm 44 years old, and I'm not ashamed of my age. I say it because I take care of myself, and boxing saved my life. So I will always love boxing in a different type of way.
Right. Yours and a whole lot of people too.
Yes. Um, I was telling my audience the other day about Javante Davis. Very controversial. I'm gonna ask you about him in a minute. I
Hmm.
like him for different reasons than his fans may like him. I like him in the ring, southpaw, explosive.
Hmm.
Jab. Not the longest reach, but I like
Right.
him inside the ring. His a lot of fans these days, they tend to gravitate towards boxers they either see a bit of themselves in, or the term fanboy is thrown around a lot.
Yeah.
I believe that every boxer in today's game got fanboys. How do you feel about that?
When you say fanboy, you wanted to define what your, because everybody has a different definition. So
My
define what you mean
definition,
by that.
no, I'm glad you asked that. My definition of fanboy is they can do no wrong. Like, for
Yeah.
example, when I see Gervonta Davis painting his fingernails, wearing a purse,
Okay.
twerking on camera, I'm like, damn, I just love him in the ring, but I cannot rock with it. I'm not a fanboy.
Okay.
A fanboy be like, yo, you go, Gervonta. Hell yeah, paint your nails. Rock that
Right.
purse. That's a fanboy. I can never be that. Like Devin Haney. His fans are they agree with him suing people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They agree with that, to me, corny stuff. You know what I mean? But that's a
Right.
fanboy.
Well, that's what you do have in boxing. To be honest, like a lot of times, like nowadays, you have people and you have fans in boxing that follow they're like cults. It's like a cult. Like
Yeah,
they're like cults, and they follow their boxers like to the end. They don't care what they do outside the ring. They follow. They kind of separate the. Me, I like to separate the man from the boxer,
that's what
because
I
they can
do.
be one way in the ring, and I love them there, but things that they do outside of the ring, I don't necessarily agree with, you
That's what
know.
I do.
So,
That's what I
I'll be
do.
like, oh, I will always say, okay, yeah, for instance, Devin Haney. I love that. I think Devin Haney's a great boxer. I think he has a good boxing IQ, but I don't agree with him suing Ryan Garcia. You know what I mean? Like, so that's just something that, I don't agree with, maybe how Bill Haney is just so, just everything that happened, when they were at Madison Square Garden, that whole thing when they got into the fight with Tiger, and that whole thing. Like, I don't agree with those type of things. I think that everything should be kept professional. You know, I don't agree with, like, all the hood activities that happen outside. I think it should all be kept professional, because a lot of times, nobody thinks about like boxing outside of their prime or outside of when they're in the ring. You got to think about what happens, what type of reputation you make for yourself after the ring, because are you going to be able to transition like Andre Ward? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or are you going to be able to transition like a Sean Porter? Where they're able to be
yeah.
commentators, like, so I always say that people should more keep their image kind of cleaner,
No, no, you're
and
right.
not
I
fall so
agree with you
bad
100%.
into the stereotypes, or, the hood activity outside of the ring. But that's just my
Yeah,
my boxing POV.
no, for sure, absolutely. I think that the lifestyle of a gangster and the lifestyle of a boxer is two completely different lifestyles. A gangster is
Hmm.
not in the gym all fucking day; he's outside doing gang shit. Excuse my language.
Right.
Boxers are sportsmen. They should conduct themselves like sportsmen, like you just explained. All that jumping people and throwing up gang signs.
It's
I
it's
always tell I
it's
always tell my audience,
it's
kids
a
go to
lot.
the boxing kids go to the gym to get away from that, to get away from the
Right.
gang, to get away from that. Come on, man. Like, and you bringing that
Right.
to the sport, and it's distasteful. I don't care how it sounds. It's distasteful, I think.
Absolutely. And that's the same. That's how I agree too, because major networks, not only do you forget about, after you're in the ring, or after you've retired from boxing, what about all the endorsements that you don't get?
Yeah, yup. You messing up your
How
money.
many
You
how
messing up
many
that
people
sponsors,
have
bro.
been, they might be popular on Instagram, but you don't see them in no billboards, you don't see them in these commercials, you don't see them with all these high endorsements that they could have. So a
Nah, you
lot of
right.
times you got to think about your reputation outside of boxing. And you
Yeah,
don't want to, put yourself out there too much on social media to be, too controversial, because now Nike doesn't want to endorse you.
yeah. Thank you. Hey, we agree on a lot of things. We disagree on some things, but I agree with you on that. I always say the less accessible you is, the less people play with you on the internet. There's people who, I mean, you see them all the time on the internet, and you start to feel like you know these people. Like Carissa, for example, people feel like they know her, so they get personal, they attack her, they disrespect her because she's on the. Open up your phone, you're gonna see her all day getting
Yeah,
her toes done, picking her nose, eating food, cooking, like whatever she doing, we watching it. So you're
right,
accessible to the public, which opens the door for criticism. I think every person, not just athlete, should have that little bit of privacy, something to
right,
yourself. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Like you out there, you just put it all out there. People gonna play with you and be disrespectful sometimes. You know what I mean? Speaking
Right,
of
I
her,
do agree with that. And the minute you put something on, you could post a picture of your dog or whatever. There's Once you put it on the internet, it's subject to get,
the dog.
it's subject to people to say something. They're gonna be in the comment section. Oh, this dog's ugly, or oh, I don't
I
like
don't
her
like that
hair, or
dog.
oh, whatever.
I
I
don't like
post a
that
picture,
dog.
people like, I don't like the way her eyebrows are, whatever. People always have something to say.
I will kick your
So
dog. Get that
it's
dog out of
like,
here.
it's crazy. So once you do that, it's something. And then if you start engaging back and forth with the audience, it's something that you
Right.
really can't do. Like, as a public figure, forget it.
She
It
responds to
kills anything
everybody.
that you would have as far as, your endorsements and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
She go back and forth with me. She go back and forth with people in the comments. She just, God bless her. I wish her the best. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, I love Carissa. I think that, like I said, when I met her, she was a very nice woman, and I hope everything works out for her, because she is very talented when it comes down to the ring. She's very
Yes.
skillful.
Yes.
She's undefeated. She has so many accolades. I mean, people could talk whatever they want to say about her personal life, but you
Yeah.
really can't say much about her as an
No.
athlete and her
No.
dedication to the sport and her dedication to women's boxing, and even her dedication, even her shining a light on women's boxing, whether it's negative or positive. Like I was saying when we were off camera, people, they're going to her fights. They're gonna stream it on Netflix, or whatever platform it's on, because now they know, oh, Carissa Shields, oh, I know her from social media, oh, let me see what she's doing in the ring. And whereas before, women's boxing doesn't have that draw like men's boxing do.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Um. Good publicity, bad publicity. People tuning in, right? You know. What I mean?
yeah, what do they say? Sometimes it's all 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 press is good press. I guess the
Yeah.
Kardashians say
Yeah.
all press is good press.
I don't. I mean, hold on. Speaking of women's boxing, today was the weigh-in with Alicia Baumgardener versus Shin. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right, but
Yeah, Shin is her
Shin.
last name.
They are both Korean. Korea. I mean, Alicia's half black, half Korean. God bless her. This girl is all Korean. This shines a good light on women's boxing. It's bringing boxing back to ESPN, and it was gone for a minute.
Hmm.
So I think she's doing a good thing for women's boxing. Her herself.
I definitely think Alicia Baumgartner. I met her too briefly when she was with Tony Harrison's camp. I do believe that Alicia Baumgartner is doing a great job with, again, her with the social media too, like, and bringing attention to women's boxing. I think that she's doing an excellent job, and she's winning her fights. So you can't really say anything negative about what she's doing, because I think she's undefeated. She's got all. Well, she's what is she undisputed, or what's her?
She's undisputed, but at the
She's
same time,
undisputed. Yeah.
she defeated every single female she's in the ring with. If she lost,
Right.
she avenged that loss. So you could kind of say she beat
Right.
everybody.
That's why I said she's undefeated, because I know she had that one
Yeah,
loss,
she
but
got
I
that
know
one
that
loss, but
she's
she avenged it.
right. She avenged her loss. So to me, she's undefeated, because she got that back. But I think that what she's doing for women's boxing is really, really good. Along with Amanda Serrano. I'm from New York, so I'm I
Yeah,
love
I like
Amanda.
Amanda. She cool as hell. I love Amanda Serrano.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm always gonna ride for the Puerto Ricans. I have Puerto Rican family,
MVP.
so
Hell
I
yeah.
always think that I love Amanda Serrano. I think what she's doing is great. Katie Taylor, what Katie Taylor is doing in the sport is great. And you have Tadasha Green and what is her name, Lee Daniels.
Lee Daniels, yeah.
Yeah, Lee Daniels, and let's see what happens with that because they're both belt holders, to what I understand.
Mm-hmm. Shadeisha Green, she said when she get past this fight, she looking to make it up with Carissa Shields. And I
Yeah,
question if Carissa Shields will go to MVP. How do you feel about that? Because she said she tried to work on MVP, but she couldn't accept the fact that Serrano was the big dog at MVP. Serrano is the highest paid on MVP.
right,
Carissa did not like that. She's like, I'm not going to be on no promotion where another girl's getting paid the most money. I mean, and that's more of an ego thing. How do you feel
right.
about how, like you just mentioned, sometimes your pride and ego, could get in the way of long term monetization? I think she should have signed with MVP, but her ego is like, yo, I'm the top dog. I got to get paid more than Serrano. How you feel about that?
Right.
People, I like. I mean, she come up as a hater. It's my personal opinion. I'm just, how you feel about that?
Right. Well, I think that you have to always promote yourself as to be the top dog, period, no matter what and what, genre you're in.
Yeah.
Carissa Shields, it has more accolades, I believe, than she does. So to me, just logically and just from a business standpoint, it would just make sense that she would get paid the most amount of money, being an Olympic gold, being undisputed, having all of the accolades that she has, and having the draw that she has. She should make the most money she should be paid pretty well. So, I do agree that Carissa should have got what she asked for because she's going to
Mm,
bring the crowd, especially just knowing how popular she is on social media. That's going to bring the crowd right there. And she
yeah.
sells out arenas. Carissa Shields has done a lot. So I do think that they should have maybe negotiated more of a contract to bring her over. But again, I do agree with you that it should have been a hard negotiation and she should have signed with MVP because what Jake Paul is doing with MVP has never been done before in women's boxing.
Mm. I like that. Politically correct as always. I like that take for you. I like that take.
Trying to
It's okay. Hey, one thing about me, a lot of people don't like because I speak. I say exactly what I'm thinking, and it's probably not a good thing. But I like that take, and you're right. Honestly, I do agree with you though. She is the
if
most accomplished.
she has the money, if she has not the money, if she has the accolades, if I have the degrees, just like if anything, if I'm going for a job, I have the degrees. If I have a doctorate, I should get paid for a doctorate. If I have a master's, if I have a bachelor's, if I have an associate's, whatever it is, you should get paid for what you have for your accolades and what you're gonna bring to the table. It's really all logistics if you think about it.
People are agreeing with you. People are agreeing with you. At the same time, though, on the flip side to that, um, Devin Haney, for example, undisputed, but his pay per view draw not so much. His biggest pay per view fight was 130,000 pay per view buys. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well,
I think that just my opinion. Bill Haney don't like me. He don't like my channel. But shout out to Bill Haney. God bless you. Um, I just think that when you got your boxing is a sport where the best talkers have always done good. Floyd Mayweather, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, as you mentioned. If you could talk your ass off, you get attention on you, and people want to see you. Devin
yeah.
Haney is like this, and Bill Haney got the microphone. Bill, you are not a fighter. Nobody want to hear you talk, bro. You want to hear from the fighter, not the father. And it makes a 28-year-old man look like a daddy's boy, and it's just not a good look for him. And with all the, hey, Devin was a three division champion, right? God bless him. You know what I'm
Three
saying?
division champion.
Yeah, and I just he's not a big draw. Eddie Hearn said it, De La Hoya said it, Bob Arum said it. He's not a draw. No, nobody is looking for the next Devin Haney fight. We might tune in because of what Bill gonna say, but that's the case in some cases, like a Carissa Shields, but as a for Devin Haney, not so much because I think he a daddy's boy, and there's a lot of daddy's boys in boxing. How do you feel about the daddy's boy in boxing?
If we're gonna talk, in talking about Bill Haney, I got actually one of my biggest Bill Haney and Teofimo Lopez's father.
Senior.
Teofimo Lopez's dad. Yeah, those are probably like the most very very controversial comments that I had going on because they were both speaking, and Teofimo Lopez's dad, he was blaming the media. He was saying every time his son opened social media, people were talking bad about him, and that he wasn't mentally really prepared for the fight, and that's how he ended up losing his last fight. And that was like his big thing. He was, blaming a lot with social media and the media, and people blaming, saying that he's not a good trainer, and like all these different things. And Bill Haney the same way. Bill Haney was crashing out because one of the commentators didn't say all of David Haney's
Remember that? I remember
accolades,
that.
right? And that got so
He
much
said, "You
hate.
a
I'm like,
piece of
God,
shit."
guilty. Yes, that one, and
No,
that one went like
he's like,
viral
"What I do?"
too.
He goes, you're supposed to announce him like what he is." Like, bro, what did I
Right,
say wrong? Come on, bro.
right. So that's two instances where fathers are just going crazy. And I understand, like, as a parent, I have a child. And I would never want anybody saying anything negative about my child. And I'm always gonna go to defend him to the max.
Can I ask
Like,
about your child? Can I ask about your child? I got 2 kids. I got a son and a daughter. My son is 1. My daughter's 4. You have a son?
I have a son. Yeah, I
Okay.
have a son. I'll put it to you like this. I have a son. My son is in the military. So, I have people that would be like,
Amen to
"Oh,
that.
how could
Amen
you
to
let
that.
your
I
son
like
be in
that.
the military?" Blah blah blah. But I'm gonna defend my son's decision, and I'm gonna defend it to the end. Because my son is here
That's right.
defending the country. Like, are you crazy? You know what I
No,
mean? And
for sure. For
he's a
sure.
young man.
Thank
He's
you
only
for his
21 years
service.
old. I had my son when I was young. And he's a young man. So that's a controversial thing that I had to go through as a parent. I'm always going to defend his decision, regardless, to join the military. And I think it was a good decision for him. As I have a lot of feel, I have uncles who, my grandfather was a captain, my uncles, lieutenants, and all those different things. So, I have a lot of military in my background, but a lot of people feel very controversial about that. So it's something that I have to defend. So, I do, and he's my only child. So, I understand Bill Haney. I understand Teofimo Lopez's dad, because you're always going to defend your child. But at a point, they have to defend themselves too as well. And especially, you see Teofimo Lopez, he's got a mouthpiece on him. He'll let
Yeah,
anyone know.
right.
I
He
just
can
saw
talk.
the
He can
interview
talk.
that he did. He was in the backseat of a car, and he was doing an interview. So I just saw that one. And, he's pretty good at defending himself. But Devin
Yeah.
Haney, you see, more so he lets his dad do all the talking and stuff like that. And,
Man.
sometimes it reminds me of like not to say, like, not to compare Bill to Don King. I would never compare the two.
No.
But,
Yeah.
I would never want to compare those two.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
how Don King had a lot to say. He was like a big mouthpiece for his fighters, when he was in his prime. So
I think they
I
were
feel
trying to
like
channel him. He tried to be like that. Like when he came up with the suit and the American flag, he trying to be like King. You know what I mean? Yeah.
exactly, and that's why I said Don King, because
Yeah.
like you're
I'm
reminding
glad you
me
remember
of
that.
that.
I'm glad you remember that. I mean, I'm not sure we similar. You clearly very younger than me. I'm old, so I remember Don King, y'all. A lot of my audience are like, "Who the hell is Don King?" Don King, y'all. Only in America.
Yeah, only in America.
But now, on that note, I think that so at a certain point, you got to take the training wheels off of your son, man. You know what I mean? Otherwise he's
I
never gonna
agree.
be he's never gonna be respected. We all on social media. You see how Devin can't even put out a tweet. Like he could say, "I'm going to Starbucks," and they will cook him for saying that. Like, man, fuck
Anything,
Starbucks.
anything.
You know what I
And
mean?
I feel like that all happened after the Ryan Garcia controvery with
Yeah,
the
that's the only
peas
reason why it
and,
happened. That's the
oh
only
my
reason it
God,
happened.
with Victor Conti and that whole thing, like, and it's just a lot. I want to see those two fight. That's why I wish that whole thing when they did the fight in Manhattan, and it was supposed to be lining up, but fortunately or unfortunately, Ryan Garcia got beat by
Yeah,
Rolly.
yeah.
But he was supposed to fight. He was supposed to fight and go back and to fight Devin Haney. And I really do want to see that fight, And a lot of people are saying, well, Victor Conti's not here. Rest in peace, Victor Conti passed.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
he was sponsoring Devin Haney. It's a lot of controversy with that whole thing, with the snacks and the peas and how much performance enhancement drugs was found in Ryan Garcia's system, so I just want to see them fight
What do
again,
you
and
think?
really let's bring it down, and let's see who's the real winner.
What do you think? Like, be honest. I know you got to be politically correct, and it's okay. I don't. I believe that Devin Haney's little brother knew before the test came out. He said he felt like God told him he was going to test positive. What do you really think happened? Do you think he was set up? Because how you going to? Anybody who knows about PEDs have to tap into your system. It's kind of like a depression pill, something. You got to take it, and then eventually it taps in. You can't
Right.
take a PED the day of the fight and expect to be more effective. I
No.
just think, me personally, I think Devin got his ass whooped, and he wanted an excuse. Yo, he tested positive for PEDs.
Right.
I mean, that's what I think. You know what I mean?
Right. And like I've been in healthcare for a very long time. I
Yeah,
got into healthcare when I was very young. I've been in healthcare. I made like 19 years at my job. I got in healthcare when I was 19, 20. I got in healthcare. So, I've been there a long time, seen a lot, in the
yeah,
healthcare industry. And I know how different medication. I worked in a pharmacy for years, mixing medications, I know how medication works. I know how medications affect patients. So you can't it would be a much it would be a different drug, number one, and it would be a much higher dosage that was found in his blood if it was going to just affect him to the extent where they're saying that it did. Now, am I saying that something wasn't found in his blood? Obviously it was. They
right,
say it
right.
came out. Obviously something was found in his blood. But do I think that it was to the extent that what they're saying it is? I don't really know about that. You know what I mean? To him to have all this power and have this and have that, for what the amount that was found in his system, it doesn't really seem that. I think it was kind of probably residuals, if anything, that was left in his system.
Yeah, we got a
A
Devin Haney
residual.
fan. The Devin fan base likes to come in and he's like, if you take something to eat something, it's gonna be in your system. Period. I hope
And
you're a
that's
female.
not all the way wrong. It will be in your system, but it depends on, if you can eat, you can take an Excedrin, you up Vicodin. How we put it like that,
Right,
so
right.
that everybody knows. You can take a Vicodin on Monday,
It comes
and
with
on
like drugs.
Thursday or Friday, it'll still be in your system. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
Hmm.
it really all depends. You have to really measure the amount on what the effect is on the fighter. I don't believe that anybody should be taking any kind of performance enhancement drugs, period.
For
So
sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think Ryan should have been taking anything, period. To Ryan's defense, he says that he was taking whatever Victor Conti was giving him, the supplements from Victor Conti, and Victor Conti was sponsoring Devin Haney, and so on and so forth. This is what Ryan Garcia is saying. You
Hmm.
know, um, I don't know. All I know is that I would like to see. What I do know is that I would like to see the rematch, and I would love to see who really wins in this rematch. No Victor Conti, no performance enhancements, no anything, no nothing that we can say somebody else did this and we can flip it all these, multiple ways that this has been flipped. And let's see what really happens. Run it back.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I think that say you're 20 months. Say you was a drug dealer, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
dealt drugs for 20 years, and people know you as a drug dealer, right? You get
Mm-hmm.
out of jail, and I start associating myself with you, and I say, yo, she cool, but hey, man, she dealt cocaine for 25 years. Nah, but she cool. She my homie. People, you're gonna have that stigma of, yo, he probably doing cocaine because he hang out with an ex coke dealer. Victor
Right.
Conte and Devin Haney relationship, I just I didn't rest in peace Victor Conte. God rest his soul. I
Absolutely.
just don't trust him.
Absolutely.
I don't trust. He said, "quote Devin is my favorite." What you mean, Devin my favorite? The same man who said I can make undetectable PEDs.
He did say that. And if
He
I'm
did
not
say that.
mistaken, wasn't he kicked out of other sports
Hell
for the
yeah.
same as that? He was kicked out
Marion
of
Jones,
football,
uh, Marion
baseball.
Jones, Jose Canseco, right?
Mm-hmm.
A gang of athletes from different sports. He distributed the cream, little tobacco you could take, little all type of shit that just makes you a super athlete. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know.
So, we don't know, neither one of us is scientists. I can only
Yeah, yeah.
say
I don't. I'm not.
from what
Yeah,
I've read and for what I know working in the healthcare industry and working in the pharmacy for the years that I've done with my experience. So I would like to see them have it done without no performance enhancement drugs. Let's see it. Let's see who wins. That's it. I want to see that fight. That's one of my fights that I really, really want to see,
yeah.
because it was extremely controversial.
I think it'll be the biggest rematch in 2026
I
because of the
think so too.
controversy. Because of the controversy, yeah. I gotta see that. Ryan looked real good in his last fight against
He
Barrios. You
looked
saw it,
amazing. He
man.
looked
He was on
amazing.
point. Tap tap to it. His right hand. Hey, his right hand was working. Ryan Garcia is known to be a quote unquote one trick pony. The left
Yeah.
hook, left hook.
Left
Javante
hook.
said,
Yeah.
"Man, you
Left
got
hook
one
is his
punch."
thing.
The right hand dropped Barrios in the first round. He bang overhand. He dropped him. So
And Mario Barrios is a great fighter.
man, he a dog, man.
He's a killer, right? Mario
Look,
Barrios is a
he
great
took
fighter.
that
So it wasn't
whooping.
like that was a tune-up fight or something that, was just easy. No.
he took that whooping like a champ. He one of them
Right.
old school. Like he got that throwback Mexican boxing mentality. Like you gotta kill me. I'm not gonna die.
Yeah.
You
He was
gotta
a
get hit
dog in
me.
there.
I respect him, man. Shout out to Mario Barrios, man. He a warrior for real. But
Me too. Me too. I
yeah.
believe so.
But Ryan beat the shit out of him, man. Ryan looked real good his last fight, and I think that the biggest rematch of 2026 got to be Devin versus Ryan too. I'll definitely tune in. Definitely
Oh,
tune
me
in.
too. Me too.
Oh, yeah.
I want to cover that fight. I'll be talking to Fox about that. I gotta cover this fight.
For everybody who don't know, you are a Fox correspondent. Hold up. For everybody who don't know, follow her on TikTok, y'all. What is your deal with Fox again? I'm sorry, I got a bad. I get punched. I'm 44 years old and I still spar. I get punched in my head, so forgive me if I forget. Fox News correspondence.
Right. Basically, for Fox Radio. For Fox
Fox
Sports
Radio.
Radio,
There you
what's
go.
happening
Okay.
in the Ryan show, right? We're all syndicated through Fox Sports, and I'm the boxing expert. I'm the boxing analyst, the boxing expert. I bring all the boxing news,
Yeah.
boxing gossip, the boxing, anything that's going on boxing related. I'm there talking to them, through Fox Sports Radio. So you can
Yes.
always check that out as well.
My
And the
box.
links are in the bio with my TikTok and with Nikki1020 is my Instagram account. So either or my boxing
Nice.
PLD or Nikki1020, and you can see everything there on the LinkedIn tree.
Women's unity. I want to ask you about this. Women's unity in boxing. Shout out to Didi. Women's unity in boxing. I mean, do you think that there's an undertone of they're all? And I mean, it's boxing. They're going to be in competition, but the love from MMA to boxing. You cover MMA, right? I think you do, right?
I do, yes, UFC.
Yes. It's good to see Ronda Rousey she left the UFC. She has some things to say about Mr. Dana White.
Yeah, that was a
I was
lot.
like,
Yeah,
wow.
that was a lot at the press conference. I was
I
like,
heard they was
wow, look at
together.
that.
I heard they was together. I heard they was like messing with each other. I don't know. I heard.
Me either.
But
From what that's internet talk.
yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna say if I don't know. That's just But yeah, I like the crossover female MMA fighters, female boxers, and yes, all baddies on that stage. It's great to see classy women, link up with each other from different sports. It shows growth
Right.
in women's boxing and just women's sports in general. How you feel about that?
Right. I absolutely agree. I love the girls being together. I think that what they're doing for women, me being a female, I think that women are definitely, we can do, I won't say we can, because, I'm more old. I was raised, in a different time, a different generation,
No, you
so
wasn't.
I
You
would say
21 years old.
I would say I'm not as like with these younger, the younger generation
I hear
of
you.
women and can do everything men can do. We have different bones. We have different bone structures. I ran the operating room for years. They use different trays for women that they do for men. So there is a difference in women and men. Women cannot fight men, period. So, when they say that Carissa Shields said that she wanted to fight Rolly and stuff like that, or, she wanted to get in the ring with Keith Thurman, I don't agree with things like that because
Thank you.
women get hurt differently
Thank
from
you.
men.
Thank
So
you.
I think them keeping it together, fighting each other, and the way that they're doing it is wonderful. I think it's great, and it does bring women together and let them know they can, participate in combat sports. They can participate in sports and things of that nature. Yeah, I love it. I think it's great.
Somebody
Especially
typed
when
up
it's
a
coming off of
period.
women's history. Huh?
Somebody typed up period. They typed up a period. Right. Like I said, I love Chris as a boxer. I don't think nobody gonna beat her ever. But come
Right.
on,
I don't
man.
think
Like
so either.
we seen her get dropped by a 130-pound journeyman that Rolly knocked out in one round. Mind you, she said she could whoop Rolly. Rolly knocked
Yeah.
her with skill, but like you just said, I have a son and a daughter, right? My son is 1 year old. He a baby.
Mm-hmm.
He's physically stronger than my daughter was when she was one. He's like a
Right.
little muscle man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
boys and girls are just different from babies. You know what I'm saying?
Our
Like
bones are different.
the
Anybody can
bone
argue.
structure,
You
just the
can Google it.
testosterone, everything. And
I ran an operating room for years. They used it. If we both get into car accidents, we both break our femur.
you was a
They
doctor?
use a different tray for you than a different tray for me. They're gonna use a different saw. They're gonna use all different tools
Wait,
because we have different bones.
you a doctor?
No.
What would you do in the operating room? Did you sneak in? You snuck in, didn't you?
No. But I ran
Why was you in the operating room?
Huh?
Why was you in the operating room?
Because I ran it I was in the operating room, running the operating room for 6 years.
What was your job title?
I was a coordinator in the operating room.
There you that's what I'm saying. Yeah, okay.
I was at the desk and I got all the, I called, I got all the trays available when all the traumas came in. Like, I would make sure this room was going, this thing was set up.
Yeah.
Just anything that has to do with operations, that's what I was doing in that operating room.
I'm just messing you. I'll be cracking I'll be cracking jokes for that.
It is what it is. We have two different bone structures. You can't, a woman should never be doing the same exact thing as a man, and not the same exact thing. We can definitely box, but we got to keep it together. Women should fight women, and women should I don't really even agree that we should have 12 rounds of boxing 3 minutes. Me personally, my personal opinion, I don't think that should be the case. I think that they should do it the traditional way. I think it was 2 minutes, 10 rounds, 2 minutes, or I think it should be that, because women can't take the same amount of damage. I'm not saying that women can't do it. I'm saying that it's not healthy for your body to take the same amount of damage as a man.
From another woman?
Yeah, period. Our whole anatomy is different. You have ovaries, you have a uterus, you have different bones, you have your orbital bone gets fractured a lot easier. You have breast. You get hit in the breast. You can activate cancer. It's just so many different things that can happen with a female's body that I don't think that women should do 12 rounds, 3 minutes. I just don't think so. I think that they should box. Absolutely. Yes. But I don't think that it should be the same standards, because we're not men.
I cannot argue. I can't argue with you on that. I have nothing to say about that. Anybody who box, it's different with headgear on. Headgear is like you talked about. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Everybody who box, I work with females in the gym. You don't try to go. You don't try to take them out, but you just jab them. Just work with them. Just move around, work on things, and it's a girl. Just kind of work with her. But you never go 100% on her unless you're a fucking coward, I think. But like you say, women are just built differently, and
we're built to have children. You're built to give life. Yeah. Men are not built to give life. Men are built to hunt, gather, bring food back, bring money back. That's what men are for. just with women and men, period.
Very traditional thinking. I like that. I like that. Very traditional thinking. I love that. Yeah.
And then women, we're built to deliver a child, grow a child in our body, and have multiple children until you die.
Multiple.
Not that you're saying, a woman's place is to be barefoot and pregnant. I don't believe that.
Hey,
I don't believe that. I'm saying that we're built different.
For a quick second, you sounded like you've been making women sound like cave women, baby, kitchen. Like, damn, okay.
No. I think women can definitely do what men can do, but I think it's within a different, different rules.
Scale.
Yeah, different rules. And men, I don't think men boxers should fight female boxers under any circumstance.
Miss Didi said, right, definitely. I agree with you, Miss Didi. No. For a second, I thought she was like, women, kitchen, food, baby.
No, never.
I'm brown.
Never. Look, I'm in something that's male dominated. I believe that women, we're allowed. Some people think, oh my God, you're a commentator. You talk about boxing all day, or whatever.
Yes, that's okay.
That's what I love. I love the sport. I love combat sports. Some women, I have friends that have no interest in boxing at all. But me, I love it. I watch it all the time. I listen to it on my AirPod. I'm always listening to what's going on in the boxing world. So, and I'm a female.
Yeah. I think that I was explaining the other day. I said I think women should have a say so. Definitely have a say so. It don't make me like a bitch to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's about, you gotta be. They say, men should lead this. Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, though, we're not cave women. We're not cave people.
Right.
Like women don't. I was raised with all my mother's sisters. I was raised with all women. So women definitely gotta say so much shit.
Right.
But they shouldn't be like, some people want to hide women and you stay there, don't fight and all that. Come on, man. Women are
No, we should
definitely,
definitely be able to compete and fight and do all those things.
yeah,
Absolutely. Just with different standards because men and women have different bodies. That's all.
yeah,
And
that's
there
it.
should never mix the two. I don't think that men and women should ever be fighting each other.
Never, never. It's
You know?
fine. Like, I'm not. I don't mean to bring her up again, but real quick, Carissa Shields released a video, about a 2 minute video, saying, "Look, I sparred with men in the gym, and anybody who box, who like Baumgartner mentioned yesterday, the boxer's eye, you could kind of see that they're working with her. They're not trying to
Hmm.
take her out. They're just
Hmm.
jab. You know what I'm saying? Just working on things. They're not trying to really go in on her like full hard sparring. But
Right.
she want that validation so bad that she got mad at me because I said ESPN put out two division champions. They had Usyk and they had Crawford. And then where's me at? And I said, they were talking about men's boxing. And then she's like, so what? Okay, but yeah, it's cool. God bless you. Women, but they were talking about men's boxing. Chill out. You know what I mean? But like you say, um, men and women are built differently, and there's really no competition. You know what I'm saying? We're not.
No, and
I mean,
what
we're
they
not in
should
competition. We're
what
not
they
in
should have
competition.
did was put something out about men's boxing and female boxing,
That's yeah. That's what I'm saying. Right.
keep it separate. This is man, this is female, because once you start mixing things up, lines get
we
blurred.
we saw what happened. I mean, but by dude who got with the quick little left hook. She, you know what I mean? And she claimed that he took the pattern out the gloves and all that good stuff. But yeah, there's no competition. We're not. I mean, we're not trying to be in competition. I don't think men, they're not looking to compete with women all day. Just let's just celebrate both. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because at the end of the day, men don't really get any flowers for
You don't get
knocking
no
a woman
points for
out.
that, right?
Nobody get Men don't get any points for putting their hands on a woman.
Right,
Oh, I knocked her out in sparring. You should.
right. Come
You're a
on, man.
man. You know what I mean? Like
Come on.
your
Exactly.
strength is just different. So
Hmm. Yes, but yeah, she want that validation. God bless her. Like I said, I'm not here to
I love Carissa. I
love.
love
Hey, I
Carissa.
love her too in
Shout
the
out to
ring. In
Carissa
the
Shields.
ring, nobody's beating her. Nobody.
I don't
Nobody.
think so either. I don't care who they put in the ring with her. As from what I see, I think she's taking them all down.
Yeah. Michaela Mayer will be moving up in weight. I think Carissa's fast. One thing about Carissa, she may not have the most knockout power, but she's quick. She got good
She
hand
is
speed.
quick.
She got for a heavyweight and woman. She got hand speed. But
Yeah,
mhm.
she is very quick.
Yeah, I love her in the ring. Nobody's beating her. How do you feel about how Teofimo Lopez handled this? He said he made it look. I want to ask you about this. He made it look the way it was supposed to look. What do you feel about that? And Teofimo Lopez is known to have mental health issues. I put this up earlier. I don't think you caught it,
Yeah.
but he was open about it. That he struggled after the Cambosis thing. He wanted to take his own life, and I
Yeah.
think it's never that serious. But now he's saying that Shakur jabbed him to death. You can't win a fight like that. How do you feel he's handling the Shakur Stevenson defeat?
I think that it's hard for Teofimo Lopez to handle that defeat, period, because of the mental health issues that he's displayed throughout the years. We've seen Teofimo Lopez have multiple breakdowns. He's said things where he's talked out of turn. They say that he's gets angry and has these like racist comments or these racist rants, and I think that all it coincides with mental health. You know, I don't know if he's had any kind of scans, on his brain or anything like that. But a lot of people, I think that all men, all people in combat sports should have their brain scanned constantly. I think every maybe 3 months they should go and have a scan on their brain, because your brain is very delicate.
Mm.
People don't realize your brain is the yolk inside of the egg, and with it constantly getting hit like that, the mental illness is going to come, the mental health is going to come, and one of the things, the biggest signs of mental illness and mental health issues and CTE is suicide and wanting to take your own life and all these different things. And with a defeat like this, with the popularity of the fight, I think it's very hard for him to accept what happened.
Mm.
And even we all looked at the fight. We saw his dad, in the corner. And when I was watching the fight, I said, I don't see where he's telling him, get him on the inside, get off the ropes. When you see him open here, do a left hook. Like, I didn't see any technical. They didn't adjust at all when they were doing that fight. There was no adjustments. All you see Teofimo Lopez's father screaming is, "Where's your power? What
You
happened
gotta
to your
hit
power?
him. You gotta hit him.
You're
What
gonna
type of
hate
shit?
yourself in the morning. You're gonna hate yourself tomorrow.
Right. Oh no, that was the worst. Come on, man.
When I heard that, I'm like, that doesn't help. That even puts fear inside of the boxer when they're going back out there to fight. Now they're more nervous, because the corner's not telling them, okay, you might be down to scorecards, but you got to go back out there. You got to get off the ropes. Don't let them hit you here. Whatever. You got to adjust. And I didn't see any adjustment from that corner for that. And when they go back and when they watch these tapes, how does Teofimo Lopez, how does he rationalize all that in his head?
coming from your
Not only is that his coach, where he can just get rid of him, fire him. A lot of people say, "Oh, fire," he needs to get rid of his dad. That was a huge thing that people were saying in the comments under my thing. That he needed to get rid of his dad. It was time for him to have a new coach. His dad took him as far as he can take him, and sometimes they can't take them anywhere else. They gotta step back. And people weren't saying, not to be his coach at all. They were saying that he needed to step back and let somebody else come in and work with him. Yeah. And they can do like a partnership or whatever. The dual coaches, so they have multiple coaches. They have coaches, strength and conditioning coaches. They have all these different types of coaches. So they were saying he needs to bring somebody else in. And, how does Teofimo Lopez fare with that mentally? Not only is his coach, it's his father. This is somebody who raised him his whole life. We don't really know. It looks like they have a good relationship, but, to me, to say something like, you're going to hate yourself in the morning with your power, like something, so it's not instructions on how to go out there and execute the fight. Again, I'm not a boxer, I'm not a boxer, I'm not a coach, I'm just an analyst. But, from what I know of analyzing the sport, it should have been maybe more direction given to Teofimo Lopez to go out there and give him instruction on how to adjust for that fight. And it just, it just wasn't there at all. And I think Teofimo Lopez is definitely having a problem mentally with handling that defeat. And it was so huge. Now Shakur Stevenson, he's a household name, he's going up. Gervonta Davis is not, he's not currently boxing. So it looks like Shakur Stevenson is, getting right into that. It look like he's getting right into that slot unless Gervonta comes back and takes his crown, because I'm a big Gervonta Davis fan. I love Gervonta Davis. He's like bring IQs off the hook. I love him.
Hey, man,
I love Shakur Stevenson. I like Teofimo Lopez as a fighter. I love all these boxers. I like them all. I think they're all great. And to get to where they are in their careers, tremendous. But this is where you get to these type of places in your career. That's when you really start getting tested. In other words, once you start fighting the Shakur Stevensons, even the Keyshawn Davises or whatever, once you start fighting like guys who have accolades and know how to adjust in the ring, and okay, now you're not doing this. Now I'm gonna just jab you to death all night or whatever. Doesn't matter if I jab you to death all night. You couldn't beat me. You know what I mean? And that's where that goes.
I'm glad you mentioned that right now. I mean, I was gonna say, with Theo, that to finish up on what you just said, for Theo, that's your father literally saying you're gonna hate yourself. That gotta hit different than just a fucking coach. You know what I'm saying? That's your father saying, would you be like, what you mean I'm gonna hate myself? That shit had to hurt him. But on to Shakur Stevenson, like you just said, he a household name now, and he doing interview. He got his teeth fixed. You know what I'm saying? Like he's smiling and shit. Yeah, like he out there now. But yes, people been at me. That's why I wore this for a reason. In my comment section, talking about, yo, bro, you switched up on Tank. Nah, I just expect the most from him. I think the short hair Gervonta, in my opinion, the short hair Gervonta that fought Pedraza, Cuellar, even Ryan, he would beat Shakur. It's my opinion. The Gervonta we saw against Roach, and based off what Shakur did,
even the Gervonta that fought Rolly.
Yeah, no, yeah. Man, people didn't understand. I'm glad you brought that up. People didn't understand that fight. Like, hey, Rolly was whooping. No, he wasn't. You stupid mother. You don't know the sport of boxing. Gervonta, it looked like an amateur versus a professional. Rolly was clearly bigger. Gervonta said he was the hardest puncher he ever fought. So, quote, you got to be worried on punches. Gervonta was slowly but surely setting him up. It's kind of like a spider weaving a web. And eventually you get caught in that motherfucker, and then bang, left hand, there you
I
done.
was there for that fight, and it was, I covered that whole fight that week, and I was there for that fight, and getting to know both camps was great.
Yeah.
They're both great guys and stuff like that. But I really, when I watched the fight, people are like, oh my God, Gervonta's losing. I'm like, nah, he said,
Nah,
he's
man.
just figuring him out. That's how
Right,
Gervonta is.
right.
He's a slow fighter, and maybe he starts slow, and then once he figures you out, that's it. You're out of there.
Yeah.
Because Gervonta's ring IQ is very, very high.
That's what I'm saying.
People, they don't really realize that. I've never seen Gervonta have a fight where he didn't execute his plan, and I think that the closest thing I've ever seen him come to any kind of loss is when he fought Roach, and he didn't lose that fight.
I'm trying to top it. Thank you so much. I say, look, just because Roach, did good, don't mean he won. I rewatched the fight like 4 or 5 times. I had Gervonta edging it out. I know the knee. I ain't gonna lie. The only thing bogus Gervonta did was that knee. It's like, damn, bro, you should.
Yeah, when he took the knee, I was like,
that's
oh my God, what does that mean?
Any other fighter, that would have been disqualification because
right there.
Yeah, your corner can't come and touch you or nothing. Your corner gotta, but it's okay when you the face of boxing, which he was at that particular time. Like when you a superstar, you could do shit like that. Get mad, stay mad, I don't care. But yes, I think this is my opinion. I think that because he saw Jake Paul in the crowd, because it was set up for Jake to come in the ring and you're gonna fight Jake Paul afterwards. I think maybe he might have been not distracted, but in a sense distracted. Like not taking Roach 100% like he took Santa Cruz or Roddy or Ryan. Maybe he just said, I know this dude. I'm gonna beat him. They're gonna give it to me. And here come Jake. And then you know what I mean?
Right. But a lot of times, like if you bring that up, a lot of times boxers, they'll have their opponent in front of them, and then you'll see them look for the major fight that's right behind them. They'll look right behind them. And a big thing, I don't know if you remember with Jarrett Hurd and Jamel Charlo. Yeah. Remember when that was like that was years ago, but when they were supposed to get set up to fight, and then both of them ended up losing their fights.
Charlo lost to Harrison.
Charlo lost to Harrison, and Jarrett Hurd lost to
J-Rock. No, not J-Rock.
J-Rock, yeah.
J-Rock, J-Rock.
Yep, he lost to J-Rock because they were looking past their opponents.
Yeah, I'm glad you remember. I'm glad you remember that. That's what's up.
Yeah, that's so when I see those type of things, and the same thing, I feel like that kind of happened with Ryan in the last fight. He was looking past Rolly and was looking toward the Devin Haney fight. So then that's what happened where he lost to Rolly because he wasn't really, focused on the Rolly fight. Even if you notice at the press conference, he was arguing with Devin Haney's camp.
Yeah.
He wasn't arguing with Rolly. Rolly was just kind of there like, okay. You know what I mean? So it's funny that when they do that, they look past the opponent. And like you said, same thing could have been happening when Roach was with the Roach and Tank fight.
I think so. I think that Jake was
and
in the crowd.
Looking at the big.
Hey, Jake is noticeable. He a big guy with blonde hair. You're gonna see him. You know what I mean? So Tank is like, yo, there go Jake. They're gonna give me a decision. Roach said during the interview, he said, Gervonta was telling me they're not going to give it to you. You know what I mean? You're not the A side. I'm Tank. They're going to give it to me. Even if I lose the fight, they're going to give it to me.
Crazy.
So it was kind of set up in that sense for him. But, man, I want to see Gervonta back focused. I'm shitting on Gervonta because I shit on Gervonta recently because I expect more from him. Gervonta gave my channel a shout out about 5 years ago. He mentioned something I said on Twitter, and on my channel, got a good drum start from there. So I always love Gervonta for that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I could provide for my family with all this shit, and God bless him. I'm not ever shitting on him like that. I just expect more from him. That's all. Because I think he could beat these guys when he's locked in.
Yeah, I think with Gervonta Davis is a focus. When we get a focused Tank in there,
yeah, man, he's killing.
And,
he's killing you.
He's a beast. I love Tank.
Like that's what I'm trying to tell people.
Fight. He reminds me when I was a kid watching Mike Tyson fight.
Punching his ass, boy.
Hold up. Motherfucker. Give me a second. Hold up. 1 second. Don't leave.
Man, whatever, man. Whatever, all that. Whatever. I see all y'all niggas in the comments. Whatever. Whatever.
My bad. I couldn't remove the audio from that. Back to what you were saying. My bad for that.
Okay.
But yes, Focus Javante definitely shits on Lamont Roach. Excuse my language.
You know, I think Roach he's a good boxer too. He really is. I would definitely say he gave Tank a run for his money, and I would like, but you know, Roach his last fight was a tie. It was a draw.
He's a real draw type of guy.
Yeah, his last fight was a draw. So, you know, and he was saying, how could I keep getting these draws? You know, this is just crazy. He couldn't fight the referees and the boxer. Like, he can't fight everybody. So, you know, he just seemed really disappointed in the sport. He seemed really disappointed in the referees. You know, he just seemed very, very disappointed. But I would like to see Roach get back in the ring and fight. I would like to see Gervonta Davis. I definitely did hear that they were supposed to fight each other. And a comeback fight. I don't know how true that is, but I heard that they were supposed to have a fight. Devontae and Roach, like you know, the rematch.
I thought it was Pitbull. I thought Tank gonna come back and fight Pitbull at 140. You hear anything about that?
I did hear that too. That's why I don't know if he was, because Roach was saying that no, he's mandatory. He has to fight me, and then Roach was saying that Gervonta has to fight him because remember they had that contract. And Gervonta Davis went and broke the contract and went to go fight Jake Paul, and then that whole thing didn't work out. But he was already signed supposedly to fight Roach in the immediate rematch, and Roach couldn't get a fight. So, you know, who knows? So Roach is now saying if he's going to come back, he has to fight me.
I think he has to, but my question is, why is Tank fighting Pitbull next? He beat him.
He beat Pitbull Cruz. So I don't. You know, I would always be interested in watching a Tank fight, but I would like to see him fight somebody who we already, you know, like, or I would like to see him fight Roach. You know what I mean? I would like to see that.
He gotta fight Roach. He gotta fight Roach. I mean, if you get a draw, Mayweather versus Castillo, Mayweather versus Maidana, them fights wasn't draw, but it was close. What did Floyd do? He went right back. He didn't take no fights in between. No, we doing that right back. That's what Tank got to do. You know what I'm saying? I want to see him versus Roach next. That's what I think. Right. I mean, Pitbull, cool with you. We already saw that though. We know how it's gonna go. The Tank go out for him. You know, Pitbull getting older. You know what I mean? The 140 they're talking about. But you got to run it back, bro. Just like Devin and Ryan that we talked about. We got to see that again. I don't want to see something.
We got to see that again. We got to see that again. You know, anytime where you have fights that are that close, or you know, we want to see. Okay, who is the actual winner? Who's the actual winner? Let's see.
Man.
Yeah, we don't have no what ifs. Like we have all these what ifs with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather.
Oh, hey, I was gonna ask you about that. I'm old. I'm a dinosaur. I'm 100 years old. Now I'm 44. But I remember Manny Pacquiao is using them same little talking points. Yo, Floyd's scared of me. He don't want to use it under. Bro, you said that, dog, and he beat you. I like Floyd. I'm not sure how you feel about Floyd. I love Floyd.
No, Floyd's one of my favorite fighters. Right?
I'm just saying, man. People don't like people in my comment, man. I love Floyd Mayweather, man.
I know, me too. They always call them, oh my God, I get such Floyd hate, and I get so many people that are always like, you love Floyd Mayweather.
I don't care what nobody say, man.
High boxing IQ. That's it. And I like to see him box. I'm sorry.
My uncle used to. My uncle, he's in Ecuador now. He's probably in jail somewhere. But he used to spar with Floyd. He had footage of him working with him when he was Pretty Boy, back when he was fighting Castillo, guys like that, like Sean Bay Mitchell. My uncle used to spar. I just love Floyd Mayweather, Pretty Boy Floyd. Yeah. And I saw his transition when he fought Gotti, his first paper. I watched him. I just love Floyd Mayweather, man. But yes, but Dave, Floyd is 49. Pacquiao's 47. How do you think that's gonna look?
Oh my God, I'm so controversial when it comes down to Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is a great boxer. I really, really do. Mm-hmm. I don't know what he's actually eating when he's where's he from? Where's Manny? The Philippines, right? Where's Manny Pacquiao from?
Yeah, that's in the Philippines.
Yeah. So, sometimes I think maybe whatever he's eating, whatever natural plant that he's eating is able to give him the longevity that he has. Because if you see him fight these boxers that are years younger than him, he is hitting these guys. Like, even if you watch him fight Adrian Broner, not that
Oh,
Adrian
that was
Broner
good. Yeah.
Adrian Broner is a controversial character, a controversial boxer at this time. So, but when you see him for Adrian Broner, he's like, you see his face like he's hitting these guys with such the strength that he's hitting them with is incredible. So I said, maybe maybe he's eating
What you just
a
say?
leaf or a plant or something.
What did you just say? You just said using what?
No, not using. Maybe he's eating something like a plant.
You said using. That's what he is using.
Super strength that we don't have in America. Who knows? And that's the reason why he's able to still compete to this day at his age. Let's not forget about his age. Okay.
Yeah.
He's way past the so-called prime.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing boxer. Even when he fought Adrian Broner, he was past his prime.
He looked real good. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, he looked good in that fight. I was like, what the hell? I thought, I'm like, man, he taking some. He on some. People don't remember. I'm old, so I remember these things because I'm old. After every Floyd Mayweather fight from 2009 to 2013, 14, Floyd would always say, if you're the best, take the test. If you're the best, take the shot to Shane Mosley, take the test. For some reason, I don't care what y'all say, Freddie Roach admitted it too. For some reason, Manny Pacquiao refused to take a blood and urine test. He said he was scared of needles, although he had 100 tattoos. Which makes no sense to me. As soon as he got knocked out by Marquez, Juan Manuel Marquez in that fourth fight, somebody who Floyd Mayweather beat with ease. He was on cruise control that fight.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Floyd schooled Marquez. Marquez put Manny to sleep. Manny was snoring. We seen disease coming out of his fucking head. You know what I mean? So Manny was the reason the fight didn't happen, not Floyd. You know what I'm saying? And I always knew that it'll be a non-competitive fight. Manny too aggressive. Floyd those are who box. When somebody come at you with 100 million punch, man, you see all that shit coming. You gonna oop, and especially Floyd, man. He's too slick for him. That's what I think.
Right. No, I agree, and I would like to see him and Floyd fight. And now what they're saying is Manny Pacquiao is going to sue Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather signed on three different occasions to have.
They said it's back on. I heard that, but they said it's back on yesterday. They said it's back on.
But is it going to be back on as an exhibition, or is it going to be back on as an actual? Is it going to go against their records? Like, how is it? Because I can't honestly. When they said that this was going to be an actual fight, I said Floyd's going to do that. I can't believe he's not going to have an exhibition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I thought the same thing. I was like, Floyd's an exhibition type of guy these days. I don't know why he would.
Right. And from a business standpoint, I would only do exhibitions if I was Floyd Mayweather, if I was advising him. I wouldn't do anything that's going to come back on his record, because again, we don't know what's going on, and we don't know. Everything is controversial when it comes down to what people are eating and.
What's in that Philippine water? What is in that Philippine water? What's in the water? What's in that water?
Pacquiao has super strength, and to be his age and fighting these boxers, half his age, and I'm just like, how is this possible? How? Yeah,
man. Come on, man.
You watched the Regis Prograis fight this weekend? This past weekend?
Yeah, I saw it.
And I think Prograis I'm not saying that he's on the same level as a Manny Pacquiao, but you don't really see guys going past like 30, 37, 38 no more. It's not like when George Foreman fought and won at 50. You know what I mean? That
was a heavyweight though. He big. You don't got to be fast. At that time, we knocked out Michael Moore. Yeah, 45 years old, oldest heavyweight champion in history.
Yeah.
You know your boxing, huh? You know your boxing, it sounds like.
Yeah, because I've been watching, but my dad was Golden Gloves, like, back in the days, like, in his time before he had me. And I grew up in a house full of boys. My grandma it was just me and my grandma, my dad, and all the boys, you know. And my grandma would be, well, you better pick a sport. I picked boxing. So I just learned, I would sit with my dad and my uncle and just watch the boxing matches. And, you know, so,
Nice.
and they would watch old boxing matches. Like they watched like the Muhammad Ali, like old footage they would watch because they were just huge boxing fans. So, you know,
Nice.
I remember these fights and, you know, we would talk
Yeah.
about them.
Nice.
So,
The
yeah.
first,
So,
what was the first boxing match that you ever watched? Just off
I
topic.
think it was definitely one that I actually tuned in was Mike Tyson. I figured it was a huge fight that he was. It wasn't Evander Holyfield. It was way before
Oh
Evander
yeah.
Holyfield. I can't remember which fight it was. I think you remember when he got into the fight at Dapper Dan. I forget who he was fighting. Who is he fighting? When he got into the fight at Dapper, do you know who Dapper Dan is? He makes all the Louis Vuitton shorts and like
Mitch
all those
Green.
different things.
Mitch Green.
Yes, I believe
Mitch
that.
Green.
I
Yeah.
believe he got into a fight at Dapper Dan's shop in Harlem where they was going to like pick up their clothes or whatever.
He jumped out the car. He whooped his ass and he jumped back in the car. Remember that?
Right. And I think that was the first fight that I saw because it was the controversy behind it. And I remember being so young watching that fight, but I remember I wanted to see the fight. And that was the first fight that I ever watched
Nice.
of Mike Tyson. So Mike Tyson was really like, you know, well, I was small and I would watch his fights. But the other guys I just know from my dad and my uncles watching the boxing footage and talking and stuff like that. But Mike Tyson was the first like boxer that I followed. As a kid, who was like my favorite boxer, and I still love Mike. I still love Mike Tyson. So
I love Mike Tyson, man, and I feel, man, fuck Jake. Excuse my language, man, but I hate the fact that he got an official loss on his record to Jake Paul. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, but excuse my language. I'll be cursing a lot. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, it sucks that he got a real loss to Jake Paul on his record, man, and that's I love Mike Tyson so much that's just it's disrespectful to his record, man. Jake Paul,
but you know. Gervonta Davis was saying that he was going to avenge Mike Tyson.
Yeah, that's why he wanted to do it in the first place. Yeah,
that's why that was his original whole thing. As soon as the fight went down, he was like that he was going to avenge him, and he said that I think on Twitter that he wanted to avenge Mike Tyson because Mike Tyson had avenged Muhammad Ali. Remember that?
Larry Holmes.
To Larry Holmes, yeah.
Hey, you know your boxing. I like that, man. She know her boxing, all right. Good shit.
I like know your history. Whatever you're covering, I feel like you should know the history of that sport. You know, you should
a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know everything, but I know.
Yeah, but me either. I'm not like a huge boxing historian, but you know, I know things like these type of things. I can have a conversation with anyone about. You know.
I like
boxing.
The first boxing match I ever saw, my uncle was watching. It was Julio Cesar Chavez versus Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker. I was a kid, but I was like, Whitaker's hard to hit. You know what I mean? I know Chavez, he just had the Mexican fans behind him, and Whitaker was just very slick. And that was the first time I realized that boxing wasn't a caveman sport. It wasn't just, just wild man shit. Like, it was a thinking game. And Whitaker made me realize that, like, yo, he fighting smart. He not just, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I got into De La Hoya, and, I like the De La Hoya. Fuck Chavez up, man. Remember that?
I love De La Hoya. He's another one that I like. He's a controversial character, whatever, but I think that he was a great boxer.
Well, he whooped Chavez's ass. He
did. He put it on him.
Fucked Chavez up, man.
People
was crying. People was crying. My aunt was crying. My aunt was crying. She's like, she loved Chavez. His Chavez face, man. The golden boy De La Hoya. Not miniskirt De La Hoya. Not Oscar De La Fishnet. Not him. We talking about boxer Oscar. He fucked Chavez up, man. Bad.
Yeah.
Twice.
I love De La Hoya. I think that he was a very skilled boxer as well.
And he ducked nobody.
I watched his clap back Thursdays, I think it is, that he does.
Yeah.
Like,
Today. He had one today. He's funny, man. I know he's weird, but he's funny to me. You know what I mean?
Me too. I think he's hysterical. I always watch his clap back Thursdays.
Everything he says is factual. You might not like it, but it's factual. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is. People don't tend to like it too much, but I think that he's great,
Yeah, I think he will always be. He's one of the few boxers who he ran to the smoke. He never ducked no fucking body. And I'll always say that about Oscar. I don't know what he's doing now with the whole pantyhose, and God bless him with his personal life in the bedroom. But as a fighter, you can't deny that, man.
But that's what I was getting back to. That was what I was saying earlier. You got to separate these guys from the skill
Yeah.
to to what they're doing in their personal life. Another person is controversial, not boxing related, is R. Kelly. R. Kelly made great music, but
You
what
know,
he was doing was crazy. You know what I mean? So
man,
it's like,
I watched
you
Surviving
know,
R. Kelly. You watched documentary?
oh
Surviving
my
R. Kelly?
God, it was out of control.
Man.
Out of control. I would say, I mean, the Diddy one topped him. The Diddy documentary was just. I watched it, like I just watched it. I couldn't even believe it. I didn't take a break. I think I took a bathroom break, and I had to come back, and my eyes was glued. It was crazy. But again, you have to separate the person's professionally from who they are. You know,
It took me
independently.
a while. I'm from Chicago. Love R. Kelly. It took me a while to stop listening to that music. I love R. Kelly's music, but man, it's like he writing that shit to a little girl. You know what I'm saying? Your body's a
Yeah,
playground. Your body is a playground. What you mean? Her body's a playground.
right.
What you mean playground, bro? You know what I'm saying?
And not for nothing, like, I grew up, Aaliyah's older than me, but I grew up, like,
Yes.
watching Aaliyah. I loved Aaliyah. She's my older brother's age. I love Aaliyah. She's and
Yeah.
when
I
she
love
died,
Aaliyah, man.
I was heartbroken.
Man.
But I listened, like, her first, like, that was one of the first albums I think that I was listening to, which I had no business listening to at that age. And if you listen to the lyrics now, it's like, what?
Age ain't nothing but a number.
Ain't nothing but a number. What?
What you mean? Hey, what you mean age ain't nothing but a number? And then if you look at the cover, R. Kelly in the background like this. What the fuck is he doing back there? Why is he against the wall?
Your best. All of that whole album is
Hey,
a young girl
them
in
are
love with an
classics,
older
man. She was 15. She was 15. Them are classics, man.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. She was like 14, 15, because I was like 10. Like, I remember I was a kid while listening to that.
I was a
10
kid
or 11,
too.
something like
My
that.
mom had to say, like, my mom, she had the tape. Remember cassette tapes? My mom had the tape. Yeah, I mean, she used to play in the crib. That's all we listened to.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's kind of hard to separate. It's like now when you hear that shit, it's like, man, he talking to a little ass girl.
Right. And she's talking to a grown man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You mean what are you saying? And if you watch the R. Kelly documentary, I know the McDonald's they used to hang out at in Chicago. It's like it's by the Rainforest Cafe. Those are in Chicago. It's the big McDonald's across from it's like a college part of the city, and nothing but young girls, and he right there at the McDonald's just screening them, scanning them.
That's crazy.
Scouting
That's crazy. To think that is like,
man.
That's no. Protect women at all costs. Protect young women at all costs.
He said, I can separate the two.
Young men too. Young men. You got to protect young men and young women.
Hey, Miss Didi, she say he taught her himself in his songs. He gave us songs with clues.
Yeah, he did.
He put out clues.
Everything that was going on right there. And so
he got himself locked up.
Right there.
Play the tape. Hey, Your Honor, play the tape. You hear that shit? That's him.
You know how they're indicting all these Joe? I'm from New York, so they're indicting all these Joe rappers on there, and they got the lyrics. And
they telling on themselves, bro. I shot his ass.
Let's bring R. Kelly.
330. Right? They will kill, like in Chicago. These guys will kill you.
With K-Flock. Well, K-Flock, rest in peace. But with Little Durk and like all that, you know what I mean? Like, my son's 20, so I know all the stuff that's going on in like the drill scene, and then one of his friends is a big drill streamer. Yeah. So I always kind of find out the Bunchinches, what's going on with the drill, and it's crazy.
I think we talked about it. It's like once you make it that big, like Little Durk was trying to get his get back for King Von being killed. Mm-hmm. So he brought some motherfuckers from Chicago to LA to go kill somebody, and whatever you pay for, it's on your debit card, credit card. It's all gonna link back to your bank, bro.
I know that was crazy too. Like,
how you gonna pay with your own bank account? Like, yo, go to LA, book the flights. Your name is everything's on fucking.
My son told me that it was all on their company, on his company's.
Yeah,
card.
There you go. Yeah, the company credit card, bro.
That's your company, cash, like crazy. Not that. I don't agree with any kind of crimes,
Right. I'm not glorifying none. I'm not glorifying
involved, but it's just crazy that it ended up happening that way, and they want to use the lyrics to indict people, and just crazy. K-Flock, same thing, using his lyrics to indict him and keep him in jail. K-Flock, and he was he was huge in the drill scene in the Bronx and in New York.
Okay, yeah, I'm familiar with a little bit of the New York drill scene. Fabio Foreign, I know he.
Fabio Foreign, yeah.
Fabio Foreign. Okay, yeah, I know he got a song with King Von. That's how I know of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
He told on himself. Oh, he's talking about R. Kelly. He told himself the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper was a flute player that lured kids, right? The real, right?
Yeah, and
you tell it right there.
That was Disney, right? From what I'm not mistaken, that was
Disney. Like come on, man.
Pied Piper, he would play the flute or whatever.
That's what he did. He played the flute for kids, and you nickname yourself after him. Come on, man.
that was telling us right there, but people sometimes they're so, a lot of times people are ignorant. They like to just believe whatever. Nobody's wants to be considered a conspiracy theorist. I am a self-proclaimed conspiracy theorist. And a lot of people who know me, they're always like, "Oh, Danique, please, you're always conspiracies." Because you never know anything is possible.
I think there's good conspiracy theorists and there's bad conspiracy theorists. As long as conspiracy theory has a bit of a sense to it, then
yeah,
I guess it's okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But man, you know what? I like this conversation, man. I would like to have you on the channel again sometime. When you're available, or
absolutely
on your channel, whatever. But you a great conversation. You seem to know a lot of the same shit I've been on, and talk about a lot of the same things I talk about. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I had a great time. I would love
to man,
you cool. Time. And like I said, my producers want to reach out to you to have you on our show as well. So
you were harder to get a hold of than the president. You were harder to get a hold of than the president. Like 6 months ago, hey, we were supposed to link straight 6 months ago. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna get in 6 months. I said, what happened? You're like, oh, not today. I'm like, okay. I'm like, forget you then. And then you hit me up. Okay.
But when I tell you these things really happen, like they'll book me to do these UFC interviews,
it's cool.
like Phil Baroni. Phil Baroni. I don't know if you guys know, he's a UFC.
Yeah, Phil Baroni, a big dude.
Yeah, he was accused of killing his girlfriend. He's locked up in Mexico. I interviewed his coach, and we talked about mental health, because mental health in combat sports, boxing and UFC is huge, and that's how I do this whole thing with the mind game set. If you guys go on my Instagram, on my TikTok, you'll see that as well. And I host that show, and I talk to different people about mental health issues in combat sports. When does it actually start? Remember a lot of times, these boxing is considered a poor man's sport. And does it start before the ring? I know a lot of times with when you have CTE and things of that nature, that starts, like you say, in sparring, and starts when they first start sparring. Some of these boxing gyms, I was in Corner Focus, the charity that I worked for, how I even got directly involved in the sport of boxing. We would go to these different boxing gyms. We would give out hand wraps, headgear, so on and so forth, travel vouchers, and all these different things to make sure that these kids had, the equipment that they needed, because we would go in and we would look at their headgear and it was like paper thin. How many kids have had this same headgear on? They might as well have had nothing on, so we would partner with these different, Everlast and Title and this and that, and we would go wholesale with them, and we'd bring in all this different equipment for the kids, so they wouldn't have to have these injuries happen to them before they became pro, because with brain injuries, it happens years before you show any type of signs of that, so that's another thing that I do. And we talk about mental health in combat sports, because, as you mentioned with Teofimo Lopez, and, a lot of them, Ryan Garcia is very vocal about, his mental health.
Haney-Garcia too.
Jamal Charlo, not Jamal Charlo, the bigger Charlo. He was talking about his mental health issues and why he couldn't defend his belt. And, it's just
Danny Garcia too. When he went, remember?
Danny Garcia is
he was in the ring. I was like, man, I never knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
people, they hide that shit. Like they hide it a lot. I think that as a man, I mean, everybody in the chat, everybody done went through, a dark cloud over their head time in their life. Me too. Mm-hmm. Shit. I mean, I did 4 years.
Oh God, me too.
Yeah. I did 4 years in jail, man. And it sticks with you. You know what I'm saying? But as long as you come out of it and see the light at the end of the tunnel, as long as you know where you're going in life. Some people are stacked. Some people are in the hood right now. Broke as shit, no ambition, got no plans to make money, no plans to better. They just outside all day, just riding. You know what I'm saying? I can never be like that, man. You got to have some type of goals. goals, ambition, know where you want to go in life. And some people don't. You know what I mean? So
Right, and again, that's a mental health struggle. You know what I mean? That could be a version of it. You know, where you see people that aren't motivated, and they have no lust for life, and that's another version of mental health too. So you got to look at all aspects of what creates mental health, and we know for a fact it's in sports.
Especially boxing, because some people, Ricky Hatton is a great example. When he lost to Floyd and Manny, he went through he wanted to kill himself. He said losing to Floyd and Manny, he didn't know how to deal with it, because you unstoppable your whole life. You're undefeated. People just praising you, and then you get basically embarrassed and humiliated, knocked out twice in a row by Floyd and Manny. So he talked about that. He gone now. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. He gone.
Right. Yes, definitely. Rest in peace. But
yeah,
it's true.
Yeah.
Mental health is huge. And like you were saying, how is Teofimo Lopez dealing with all of these things mentally?
I don't think he's doing good, because I think he has to tell him. Like just yesterday, he did a stream saying that you can't win a fight by using all jabs. It's like, bro, you just lost a fight by getting hit with all jabs. Like, I don't think you know what you're saying, bro.
Yeah. Or that's what he's internalizing in his head.
He subscribed to me. Shout out to Theo. Hey, Theo, bro. Shout out to you, bro. But I just think that, get rid of your pops. That's just what it is. That's what I say. But
I think that he should just, it does not necessarily have to get rid of his dad. I think that he should bring somebody else in.
There you go. My bad. Hey, you right. You right. What the Nick said. Bring somebody else in. Yeah, don't listen to me. What do I know? But yeah, you're right.
I think that you should bring somebody else in, because it's gonna be very hard to get rid of, your parent that's helped you get to where you are to this day.
Yeah.
It's very hard to say that if you think about, even like your mom, my mom, my dad, your dad. How could you tell them, I don't need you, I can't have you do this with me anymore, So it's easier to just bring somebody else in to help.
Yeah. Hard times don't last. Real people do. I believe that everything that we go through makes us stronger, right? Yeah. I mean, when I was little, I just heard it as a saying. We don't kill you, make you stronger. It sounds good until you start going through shit in life. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you're right. Like, that shit hurt me. That it crushed me. But me coming out of it, you could never hurt me like that again.
Right.
Like, I relate.
Come another way.
Thank you. Yeah, no, you're right. Come with something different. I say that life is like boxing. If you lose a round, get back to your corner, reevaluate, and come out different. Don't get hit with that same jab again. Next time, period. Next time, slip it. Just like life. Don't get hit with the same shit again. Like Floyd said, a true champion can adapt to anything. You know what I mean? So I look at life kind of like boxing. Boxing saved my life. I would not be here on the stream with you if it wasn't for boxing. You know what I'm saying?
Look at that. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing.
I always relate it to boxing somehow, some way.
Yeah, no, it's a beautiful thing. Look how many people are like Gervonta Davis. He talks about Calvin's son, I believe. His son got murdered in where they're from Philly. Where they from?
Baltimore.
Yeah, they're from Baltimore. His son got killed in Baltimore, and his son was actually friends with Gervonta Davis and introduced him to Calvin. And
fat dude, right? Fat dude with the dress.
I'm not really sure, Calvin's son, but I know that his son was murdered through gun violence in Baltimore, and that was Gervonta Davis's friend. There was another boxer that Gervonta Davis had come up with, and he was also murdered. And Gervonta Davis has happened to get saved. Again, it's a lot that comes with boxing, and trying to get up out the mud, get up out there, and just make it, and survive. And it's all mental. It's like a game of chess. Do you play chess? I play chess sometimes, and I
played in jail. When I was in jail, I was a chess master. I was like, all right, let's do this.
Yeah, no, I've been playing chess, since I was little. I think my mom taught me how to play chess when I was like 5 years old, and I would play my cousin. It was a thing,
you a chess master.
In the parks, it was a huge thing. They would have.
You a chess master, ain't you?
Not a chess master, but I play chess pretty good.
You play with the timer.
that they have those, in the parks in Manhattan. And when I was a kid, we'd be,
sitting down
up
like, come
there,
on.
and you see all the chess guys playing the chess. And I don't know if you ever seen a Wu Saga. There's a scene in there where RZA, he always goes to the park to play chess, and
Old school cat, yeah. Risen from Wu Tang.
yeah, in the Wu
Oh
Saga
yeah,
on
Wu Tang.
Hulu.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah, I like the series, and there's a scene in there where he goes to Harlem, and where he goes to Manhattan, and he's playing chess with the guys in the park, and that's really the way it was, like in the '90s. Like you would have a lot of guys playing chess out there, so chess is a big thing in New York, and so my mom taught us how to play when we were young. I have a chessboard here, but life is really like chess. You really do have to master your next move. You
Your
always got
next
to be
three
ready
moves.
for your next move.
Your next 2 or 3 moves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And
Yeah.
they say a good chess player knows their next 3 moves.
Right. Not just the next one. I like that.
So,
Hell yeah.
yeah.
But tell everybody where to follow you at.
So you can follow me on Instagram at Nikki1020, or you can follow me on TikTok at my boxing POV.
My boxing POV on TikTok. You got 4,800 followers. This is an old screenshot because I was gonna have you on before. You probably got way more now.
Yeah, I think I got a little bit more followers from there.
Go subscribe to her YouTube channel. Follow all platforms, man. She great conversation. You know her boxing. I ain't gonna lie. I questioned you. I was like, let's see what she really know. And you surprised the shit out of me.
You question me because I'm a woman. See, it goes.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. A lot of people say, and it's funny because my uncle says the same thing. He's like, you're like a weapon because you're a girl and you actually know what you're talking
about. Yeah. Hey, look, Miss D, she say, love RZA. Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with.
I love Wu-Tang. Love the
House of War. The Wu, the one, the album from 1997. Wu-Tang Forever. That's my favorite Wu-Tang album. What y'all say?
Oh yeah, definitely.
The double CD.
I like the first album, Into the 36 Chambers. But then I like the purple tape. I love Wu-Tang. Period. They were
the
like
purple
my
tape. Nas and Raekwon.
Brother, and he was like a huge Wu-Tang fan. I would look at I was the only girl. My dad would be like, "Don't let that girl listen to that stuff." Like I wasn't allowed to listen to Wu-Tang, but I always snuck and listened to him anyway, and I would listen.
I like hip hop. I ain't gonna lie. Like I'm old.
I'm a hip hop connoisseur. I love hip hop.
I'm 44, so I mean I understand like the whole singing nowadays, and that's cool. But I like metaphors. I like triple entendres. I like bars, lyrics. I like real rap. That's just me. I'm a hip hop head. I like that. I like someone who could actually write. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Sometimes I'm like, oh, I can't listen to this. But then sometimes, like, King Von, Little Dirk, they're good storytellers.
I bow my head. Hey, no, I ain't gonna lie. Hey, I bow my head. Like, if I'm in the gym.
Good storyteller, sometimes these kids, they're good storytellers you can listen to.
I bow my head. Hey, I bow my head to, like, if I'm working out, hey, that shit sound good, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you people they saying, as long as they saying some, as long as they hitting on some, as long as they good writers, you know what I mean?
Right.
All that promoting. When we was coming up, or I was coming up, it was you praise drug dealing, not drug using. Nowadays, these guys popping pills.
I was raised on drug dealing music, not drug using music.
These motherfuckers are dope fiends, bro. They crackheads these days, and they proud of it.
A lot of that came from when I'm an '80s baby, so a lot of that
Me
came
too.
from.
I'm an '80s baby too.
Yeah, being an '80s baby, and unfortunately, that generation, I have people who, their parents lost their parents to drugs. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you would look at that, and like the whole generation looked at that and was like, "Oh no, I'm never touching drugs." But
all the hip hop parents came in. Hey, his son goes to Coach Calvin Gym. DJ Charm, she say, Lyric Swords, yep.
Yep, Liquid Swords. That another one.
My bad. Liquid Swords.
That was Jizza and the Jizza and the Genius, I believe. The Liquid Swords. That was theirs. Like I'm a huge Wu-Tang fan. Huge.
Hell yeah.
Yep. When you're an '80s baby, it's different.
I'm proud of my age. I would never lie about my age. And some guys, I just turned 44.
Yeah, some people like, oh, I don't want to. The longer you live, you made it. You know what I mean? Like you've made it. Like it's a milestone. My sister, I remember when I was turning 35, I was like, oh my God, I'm 30. She was like, you made it to be 35. Like, that's a challenge. Like, when you can make it, it's a flex to make it these ages. It's not a flex to be in your 20s. It's not a flex to look good in your 20. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to look good when you're 20. When you still look good when you're 40, when you still look good when you're 45, when you still look good when you're 50, 60, 65, that's a flex, you know? So
You
that's
gonna,
when you
you know what
start
that means?
flexing on it.
That means you're gonna look good in the casket.
Right, exactly.
You're gonna be
Every
handsome in
day
the
I'm
casket.
like, listen, I want to look it up there. I'll go out like Joan with all the.
He said, "I'll be 46 this year." Bro, the guys I spar with are in their 20s, and I'm happy with that. Long as they're not, I tell everybody, the day somebody knocks me out or just finishes me, or I'll start sparring. But until then, I like working with the younger guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, long as you can stay sharp and long as your reflexes is there, you good.
And you'd be surprised how good that is for your cardiovascular health. Like, as
I jog a
as a
lot.
healthcare
I
point of
still
view,
run a lot. I got my whole right here is a gym area. I work out. That's all I do. I
it's
pretty much work
so
out.
good for your cardiovascular health. I had somebody who came in and he had to do a stress test and he was overweight. So we were like, oh, his stress test is going to be bad. But he was a former boxer, like in his youth. Do you know his heart rate was like perfect? Like his heart rate had never, it was like better than people who were in their 25 years old. And he was like, I don't know, he was probably like 50 something, 58 years old, something like that, almost 60, because of his cardiovascular health that he did in his youth, prepared his body for the future. We all have something called cellular memory. So your cells remember everything that you do or
Is that like
don't
muscle
do in your
memory?
youth.
Is that like muscle memory?
It's the same thing. Same
Okay.
thing. Yeah, it's the same thing. But it's cellular memory. So your cells remember different things that you do. So it remembers like how to keep your heart. If you were ever you're a boxer, you train, whatever. Your cells will remember how to keep your heart calm under stressful situations because you've already trained it like that. You understand what I'm saying? And your breathing, your lungs, all
You
those
know
different
what?
things, your cells know when your body's under distress to keep it calm.
What you just said. My homie, he football player. He just got into boxing. One thing I noticed for those y'all who box, the first thing you notice with new guys in the gym, what is the first thing y'all notice? Hey, man, come on. Hey, that shit look easy, don't it? It look easy, right? Hey, anybody on the street could fight for 30 seconds. Everybody got that little 30 seconds in them, bro. When you fighting against a boxer, bro, you learn how to stay calm and just conserve your little 3 minutes. You know what I'm saying? You know how to do that, like what you just explained. And that is the most common thing I see with guys just starting boxing. 30 seconds, they're it's harder than it look, right? Yeah, right? Boxing is not easy.
But that's like with Parkinson's disease as well. Like, you would see someone like Roach, or how could he train? Because when they're training, again, you have cellular memory, you have muscle memory, you have things of that nature. And they say that people who have these Parkinson's disease or traumatic brain injuries, but when they're boxing, everything comes right back. Everything comes right back. And they're able to do that perfectly.
I like that.
So, it's something, the body is a machine. The body is a complete machine. Not to get, too philosophical or anything like that.
No, it is. Shit, I'm 44 years old. I know it's a machine.
Your body is a machine. Your body is a well-oiled machine. And if you treat it right, your body will treat you right forever.
Don't be drinking. Hey, I talk about this a lot on my channel. This is my opinion. You got my point of view.
My point of view.
My point of view this time. I feel like, I know from what I see, based on, man, you kind of get a good sense of how people, look. Boxing is a sport of the casual. If you take 90% of basketball fans, more than likely they shot hoops before. They played basketball before. 90% of football fans, more than likely they played football. If you take 90% of boxing fans, most of these guys never threw a fucking punch a day in their life.
Yep.
That's boxing.
Yep.
The sport of the casual. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys they wouldn't even street fight. They like boxing because it's something. They asked Michael Jordan one time, why do you think people like to watch you dunk? He's like, probably because they wish they could do it.
Right.
Boxing. These guys, my opinion, I'm trying to limit my cursing, but a lot of these dudes is cowards, like low key. Boxing fan is a sport of the fucking coward. These guys are soft. They sensitive little. They wouldn't fight if they had to. So they watch a sport with guys who they're watching something they can't do or wouldn't do. Everybody don't play basketball. Not too many people go to the fucking gym, pop a mouthpiece in, wrap their hands up, get a license, take a medical, and actually box. Boxing is the only sport like that, where 90% of the fucking audience never threw a punch. And
Yeah,
I
but everybody's an expert. Everybody's gonna
everybody's a
tell you
fucking
exactly
expert.
how you should
Can't
have
do
went,
3
what you should have
sit-ups.
did, da 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 da. But it's like you're a casual fan, and I always say, depending on how you train, anything's possible. It's any man's game. And boxing is a very lonely sport. It is, in the fact of, you have a whole team with you. But when you go out there and you're fighting, it's just you. You come back to your corner and you discuss, you discussing with the team or whatever. But you're going back out there. When you win, when you lose, it's all you. When you win, it's you. So it's really a lonely sport, and it's just there's a lot that goes in to boxing. It really, 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 truly is. Way more than what people believe, especially the casual fan. Especially people that are just fans and, like you said, has never, lace up any boots.
A lot of these guys who talk boxing, I see that. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm here for that. But like YouTube channels and guys, these guys can't even do 2 fucking sit-ups to save their life. But you talk boxing every day. What do you really know? So they start talking about men's money, and they start talking about this shit that has nothing to do with it. On my channel, y'all see, shout out on Ron for Fight Hype, he gone. He goes, bro, when you call, no coach on here, a boxer could say anything I'm saying is bogus. When I call a fight, I call it like I see it. You know what I'm saying? I still box to this day. I'm old, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, but I still, like, guys like to play basketball on the weekends. I like to spar still. Maybe I'm fucked up in the head. I don't care.
I know. Like I said, I think that's great, and I think it'll be great for your cardio.
Some guys hoop, some guys play cards. I like to box. I'm sparring this Saturday. You know what I mean? It's just something I do. I just like to do. Until somebody fucks me up.
I think like I said, I think it's a great thing. I don't think if you could do that and keep yourself healthy doing it, why not? It's a beautiful sport. It really is.
Yes, it is. I love
It
that.
really
I like that. It is a beautiful sport. I love boxing, man, because one thing I tell I like this is me. Maybe this is my crazy self. I like seeing somebody getting discouraged. I like beating hey, those y'all, the first round they come out, their fires in their eyes. I like to see that. I like to see them melt mentally. I like to see like the killer turn to puppy dog eyes. I like to bring the bitch out of them, if that makes any sense. Like we working until they start to fade, and now they're done. I like that. You know what I mean? That's just me.
And like you said, you got it. I always say you can tell the people who don't have strength and conditioning coaches because they're sucking air.
They smoke weed, they drinking, they smoking weed off
air, literally.
They go from the gym to McDonald's.
You need to get a strength and conditioning coach. You have to, because Larry Wade is a great strength and conditioning coach. I think he does a great job with all these guys. I saw him do wonders with Jake Paul, and he's not even, a real, quote unquote boxer. You know what I mean? He is, he's a professional or whatever, but, I saw him do wonders with him. So, I think I saw everybody I actually saw him work with, Caleb Plant. I saw him work with a lot of different people, and he did a really good job with getting their strength and conditioning up, and I think that every fighter needs a strength and conditioning coach. It makes a hell of a difference when they get in that ring and when they're executing their plan, especially so they can go the distance.
Yes.
And that's a big thing. You get in there, everybody wants to get, the 3rd round knockout, but sometimes you can't. Now you got to adjust. And how are you going to adjust if you can't go the distance?
I say the same thing, man. Hey, I say we don't know who a guy is until like the 5th round.
Mm-hmm.
The bus driver got a good 2 rounds in him.
Oh, God, yeah.
Once all that shit go out the window, now you got to think. Now you a little tired. Now it's up here. It ain't about your energy no more. Now let's figure it out. So I like that. Right. And do you have the energy to figure it out?
Right. You have to be able to adjust by time. I always say, like, you watch the boxing match, but around the 4th round, I start really tuning in to see.
You start really seeing who they is, yo.
Who's not gonna adjust? Who's gonna, what if he's just doing the same thing? He keeps coming out. I know, this is gonna be an early night. You know what I mean? Or I know the scorecards are not gonna be.
How they react to getting hit? How they react to pressure? How they react going backwards? How they react going forward?
Right. Are they cutting off the ring? Are they staying in that corner? What's really going on here?
What don't they like? Mm-hmm. What do they like to do? I mean, little shit you see. Yeah.
Right. And you see that, like you said, by the time you get into the 4th round. But if they can't do strength and conditioning, if they're sucking wind, if they're sucking air by the time they're, in the 4th, in the 3rd round.
Canelo Crawford, what did you see?
I love
Don't lie.
Terrence Crawford.
Do not lie. Mr. Nick, don't lie. What did you say?
I love Terrence Crawford.
Yeah,
And
I
I
love
think
boy.
Canelo is great. I think Canelo is a great. Like I love Canelo is one of my guys, you know. But to
Right,
me,
I'm gonna have to kick you off now.
I like Canelo, you know. But
He cool now. He cool.
you know, after I saw what Terrence, I was always a Terrence Crawford fan. I felt like he didn't get his just due. Once I saw him fight Errol Spence, and granted it
Man,
was tacked, it was been Errol Spence
man,
had the car accident and stuff like that. But once I saw how he executed Errol Spence, what he did to Errol Spence,
man.
I was sold, hook, line, and sinker. And when I saw that Terrence Crawford fight, I mean the Canelo fight, Canelo had no answers for Crawford. He had literally no answers. He got back. There was no adjustments. I didn't see him do anything in that fight that I thought that I would see Canelo do. And Canelo's another one like Pacquiao. You see him fighting these guys, and you know, I don't know if you saw him fight. Do you know Edgar Berlanga? So
He know
okay.
me. Yeah, he don't like my. Yeah, I know.
Edgar Berlanga's from New York. You know, from
You know, yeah,
Brooklyn.
y'all good. Y'all good. I got nothing to say. Go ahead.
Where did he just sign to? I forget. He just signed. He just had a major.
Super.
With Zuffa.
Baby
With Zuffa
mama.
Boxing. Him and Richard Hitchinson. They both
Yeah.
just signed to
Yeah.
Zuffa Boxing. And you know, I saw that fight, and I thought Edgar Berlanga with the distance with Canelo. And you know, I thought he actually did a really good job in that fight. In my opinion, I thought he did a good job in that fight.
Berlanga, yeah, no, I said that. Berlanga did great against Canelo.
In that fight with Canelo, he really
He did great. No, I ain't gonna lie.
But
He did great.
to get back to the fight,
It's all you get.
and Terrence Crawford, I didn't see Canelo able to adjust to Terrence Crawford's style at all.
Yeah.
At
Getting
all.
back to that, I think Canelo Alvarez, you know, he glorifies drinking, and this is some I speak a lot about on my channel. I think that boxing and health, like Floyd Mayweather, he was known to go to the club, not drink a sip of alcohol, drink water, and literally jog home. So, you know, I think that as a boxer, you gotta live a boxing lifestyle. And I think that Canelo Alvarez with his little liquor brand and, you know, drinking, you always see Canelo fucked up on camera. I mean, he drank a lot, and that's cool. God bless him. But when you're in your mid-30s, boxing and drinking don't mix. And I think but Bud Crawford showed what type of lifestyle he's living. Before the fight, Canelo Alvarez said, I'm not going to get no credit for fighting Bud. People are going to say, oh, he was too small. I'm not going to get credit for fighting him. I don't want to fight Bud Crawford. Fast forward to the fight, Lil Bud Crawford beat your ass, and what was your excuse? There is none. You drink every day. That's what I say. Canelo Alvarez, he's a notorious drinker. You know, he drink a lot. God bless him.
Right.
But drinking and boxing don't mix, y'all. That's what I'll be trying to explain to people.
I agree. I don't think
alcohol
I don't think they should smoke. I don't think they should do drugs. I don't
none
think
of
they
that
should
shit.
drink. I think they should just have a clean body, period. I don't think they should keep themselves clean. And that's we really see them at the top, because when you see them doing that, you know, and then look at the Adrian Barners, you know what I mean? Like look at what happens. And he was a great boxer in his time. And, you know, he was great, Adrian Broner. I love to watch him box. You know,
he was supposed to be the next Floyd Mayweather. Hey, remember that?
He was supposed to go past Floyd Mayweather. You know, he was. Really
remember that, Nick? Right? Hey, remember he was the second coming. He supposedly Floyd took him under his wing. I remember that shit, man.
And and one thing I feel like with Adrian, unfortunately, I feel like maybe he got caught up in the fame. You know, caught up in a lifestyle and caught up with, you know, people. And, you know, that happens to a lot of them. They become so famous and they have all this money coming in, and, you know, they just get caught up, and it's something that happens. It happens to us all, you know. But imagine if it happens to us in our regular lives. Imagine these guys, like, you know, they're world champions, you know, they got everybody, all the yes men around them and all the women, and, you know, people doing whatever they say, and, you know, they have godlike status, so to speak. And, you know, it's not a good thing. You have to be very disciplined in order to have longevity in this sport. I would say you have to be very disciplined. And as you see, like you said with Canelo, Crawford just, you know,
Canelo had no answers, and the science meant nothing when it was all about. It was more of a thinking game that Canelo just cannot figure him out. But no, like to get back, we said about Adrian Broner. I remember Floyd Mayweather said he don't know if he want to be a porn star, a rapper, a fucking a football player. AB was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? I remember that. I like AB.
Yeah. And
He's
I mean,
still
look,
funny
his
to me.
latest move, that latest move that he did with Don King, I mean, I thought that was genius.
Yeah, I like that. He fought Blair the Flair, right? Blair Cobbs.
We brought Blair, yeah, Blair Club. We haven't seen Blair Club, but I want to see Blair. I saw him fight after that, and he
I like
won the
Blair Cobbs.
fight.
He's funny.
I think he's funny.
I was actually I trained with him in James Schiller's in Philly. I was in Philly in 2018. He used to go to Schiller's. I would see him. He was quiet. He wasn't like how he is on camera. That's just for the camera. But I remember him. He cool. He cool brother, man. He knocked AB's tooth out.
What? Get out of here.
You didn't see that? He knocked out Adrian Broner's
Yes.
tooth.
Oh my God. During the fight, I did see that.
Yeah. Like
with the
I was like, damn.
everything went
He
blind.
knocked his tooth out. That's crazy.
Yeah. That was crazy.
Man.
Crazy. But, I thought Adrian Broner really did hit on something. I mean, it's granted it's Don King. We all know, Don King's known to be bad business. Whatever he did it came with his fighters and the controversy with that. And, everything, especially with Mike Tyson was so
Mike,
public.
I understand Mike Tyson. Yeah.
That was so public. So Don King was controversial, but at the time, that was the only person who would back him and the only promoter who would take him serious, And I thought it was an ingenious plan to get Don King to back him and to even get that fight with Blair the Fair. And, it's funny because I saw him, I think it was a TikTok that he was on, and he was sparring, or he was hitting the speed bag, but he was out of breath in 30 seconds. But I mean, it was crazy. I'm like, I want to see AB back. I'm rooting for AB.
He's a streamer. I seen him yesterday. He was on a stream. He's a streamer now. He got a gut. He got a belly now.
Yeah, AB's gonna get back in shape. Hopefully.
I like AB, man. I love AB, man. And he funny as hell. I like AB.
He cracks me up on his social media. Oh my God.
Yeah.
When he be in bed, laid in bed, all you see is his face. It's so funny. It's so funny. I'm just like, AB is hysterical. He cracks me up.
AB is still the funniest boxer ever.
Oh yeah.
He a comedian. I like AB, man. I love AB. Hell yeah. Funny as hell, man. That's true.
He's a funny guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but another thing that's going on in boxing is Tyson Fury and the potential fight with Anthony Joshua. So that's a big fight. But
how do you feel about Anthony? My bad, I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad. I'm deaf in this ear, so sometimes if I don't always hear you, just bear with me. I from boxing and just have a bad ear, so I only have one hearing. How do you feel about Anthony Joshua not going into the ring the other night?
The night that that Tyson Fury won, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he just stood and he kind of said I'm not gonna let you dictate what goes on with me and da da da.
How you feel about that?
I actually thought that the logistics of that fight has been done so many different times. We were supposed to have that fight that Anthony Joshua is almost like over it, So he's kind of just like, I'm not gonna let you dictate what goes on here. Remember, there's a lot of people
every single female. Y'all love AJ, and that's cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? So y'all gonna stake AJ's side. No, leave him alone. Come on, man.
I think that he was right not to get into there. I think that he was right to say that he's not.
He like AJ. See, like, no, he ain't got to do all that. Why he got to go in the ring?
I think how this should go. I think that AJ should fight Deontay Wilder, because that's the fight that we all wanted to see.
Yeah, I do think that.
Deontay Wilder didn't take the fight with AJ originally, which I think that's the fight that should have been made. They were both at their tops. Another thing that happened, right? What's name got beat? Anthony Joshua got beat, so they say Anthony Joshua got exposed, and then what's name got Deontay Wilder got beat by Tyson Fury 3 times. Yeah. And I don't even think that. I think that fight should even happen 3 times. I think originally they should have fought. Now they've both lost. They've both been kind of dethroned, so to speak. And they're both kind of even in their careers. So I think Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder should fight.
Yeah, I think that got more hype
after everything that went on with Anthony Joshua, with the car accident and stuff like that. Yeah. I think he needs a fight before he fights Tyson Fury. And I think
I
that
think
fight should be Deontay Wilder.
you know what? I like that. You're being you're saying a lot without saying it, and I like that. You're basically what I'm hearing is Wilder would be a tune-up at this point for AJ. Because like you said, back in the day, to me, it seemed like Eddie Hearn and AJ wanted no parts of Wilder. When Wilder was running over every fucking body. Wilder was killing shit in that ring. And AJ wanted no parts of him. You know what I'm saying?
But
Now
so was AJ over there over across the pond. AJ was doing the same thing.
yeah.
He was undefeated over there until he fought Andy Ruiz, Andy Ruiz, right? And Andy Ruiz
Yeah.
took his belt. Remember the
Yeah.
Mexican boxer Andy Ruiz?
Yeah, Fat Boy. I know who he is.
Yeah, he took his belt, and I think that was his first loss. And from there, you saw him, you saw him back and forth with his career. Not no longer the undefeated AJ, and
Yeah.
Deontay Wilder just couldn't beat Tyson Fury. You know what
No,
I mean?
he
And
can't.
that last fight, he really did go out on his shield.
I respect him for that. I respect him for that. Yeah, for
Me
sure.
too. But I saw his most recent fight. It wasn't it wasn't as
Who, Wilder?
yeah, Wilder's last fight.
Against Chisora? Man,
How do
Wilder's
you
he's
feel about that
done.
fight?
Nah, Wilder looked like trash. I don't want to see ever use the word trash, but he's done. He's done. The old Wilder would have slept Chisora. This Wilder, man, he's those are
I felt like he was holding back. You know what I mean?
He punches with this. He uses this. He don't even. So he slaps a lot. He don't shoot straight shots no more. He just. I don't know. I just. God bless him.
I would want to see a little bit something different from Wilder. But he did win the fight.
Yeah, he was supposed to.
I like Deontay Wilder, and there was a lot of controversy going on with that too, with his, with the ex-wife and the baby's mother and all of that stuff, and that was like crazy. And
he was some young ass girl.
He was cursing people out because Deontay Wilder is saying that he wants to prove that Tyson Fury was on performance enhancement drugs.
He wanted to prove that he cheated with his glove.
That he cheated. Maybe not that he was on performance enhancement drugs. I'll take that back. He wants to say that he wants to prove that he cheated. Maybe with he did not performance enhancements. He said that he had like that.
He said that
he did this. Enough cushion and all these different things. He said he was doing a documentary on it.
He said he did this. He put his fist in the wrist area, so that's why the glove is so floppy. So when he punched him, he punched him with this. If you watch the first two fights, it did look that way, but I mean. Damn.
He said he can prove it because Tyson Fury supposedly has people on payroll and this and that, and it's a whole thing he's got going on here. So I'll definitely watch the documentary when it comes out. But we have to see what happens. I do think that AJ should fight Deontay Wilder first, and then go into the fight with Tyson Fury. I don't think he should just jump right into that fight. I don't.
Yeah, I think we should have saw these fights years ago, but they're at the end of their career. Why not see it? I'll watch
it. Hey, if it's a fight, an interesting fight, I still want to see Tony Harrison and Jamel Charlo fight.
Again?
Yeah, I like to see that trilogy.
You know what? They're 1-1, right? They're 1-1.
Hey, I think, and so I think that it would be a good fight for them to fight. I think that it would be a good fight. I want to see Charlo Jamel. I want to see Jamel Charlo back in the ring. He was just at the Sebastian Fundora fight. And that got like a tremendous amount of views. I think it got like 250 comments. The people were going crazy back and forth. Because he's saying that his belts, he was stripped of his belts. Nobody took his belts, and he's ready to fight. He's ready. He'll fight Sebastian Fundora. In my opinion, I'm very controversial when it comes to Sebastian Fundora.
Why?
Because Sebastian, I understand that it comes to when you're looking at the rules of boxing, it's weight. It has nothing to do with height. But in my opinion, it's a cheat code. Like you're fighting at 154 pounds, and you're what 6'6"? That's insane.
6'7".
He's 6'6" and a half, right? Like, come on, the average person who fights at 154 pounds is not that tall. They're about, 5'10", 5'11", that's probably the tallest. Jamel Charlo is 6 feet, okay, and fighting at 154 pounds. But you're not going to get anybody past 6 feet fighting at that weight. That height is hard to make that weight. And if you look at Sebastian Fundora, he's extremely raily and thin. But his arm reach, I think he's got a 78 arm reach or 76 arm reach. It's incredible.
Yeah, no.
So he's gonna fight these boxers, and it's like a giant fight. You know, did you see what he did to Lubin, to Erickson Lubin?
It looked like Lubin got jumped. His face was like I got Tom and Jerry when their face be fucking heart pumping.
It's crazy.
But yeah,
and you know, there is a way to beat Sebastian Fundora. You gotta fight him on the inside, but people are scared to fight. You know, these guys are scared to fight on the inside. You take a lot of damage when you fight somebody on the inside. A lot of damage.
Yeah,
so
also
you know, as a boxer, fighting somebody on the inside, you know,
it's hard to get in on him. Yeah, he's a southpaw, and when he could touch you, but you can't touch him, it's hard to just get in on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude that knocked him out. I think his name was what was the guy that beat him? Ramos.
There was only one guy that beat him, and I can't remember his name, but he fought him on the inside.
Yeah, he got with a check on it, and he dropped him. God bless him. But
he fought him on the inside. He was the only time that he ever lost. But it proves that he can be beaten.
He could be beat. The way that Lomachenko fought Devin Haney, for those who can remember, Devin was taller, long jab. Loma got inside Devin. He was in. I think he beat Devin. But that's how you got to fight that tall motherfucker, man. Mendoza, there you go. Thank you, Mr. Mendoza. Mendoza got him with a nice little check and ended everything. So he can be beat. He can be beat. But yes, 154, 6'7", man. Come on. You should be fighting David Benavidez weight class, at least.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to see him fight the likes of David Benavidez.
David said he was just wild.
Why can't we see him at that 165? You know, fight where your weight and your height makes sense.
Yeah, he a weight bully.
But in boxing, it's just weight. Like, you know, when you're fighting a heavyweight could come in 219, 266. They're fighting.
Or 319.
Right. Oh, you know what? Just be over 200 pounds. You know,
yeah, that's
boxing
it.
is very weird when it comes down to some of these rules, you know. But I think Sebastian Fundora, I mean, every single time I watch the fight, I'm like, okay, let me see what happens.
I know a guy.
And Keith Thurman, he was small. I don't want to say he's small because I don't want to call a man small, but you know, he's no way. What's Keith Thurman? 5'7", 5'8"?
5'8". I felt bad for Keith, man, and I like Keith. I mean,
me too.
He a little corny sometimes, but he cool. I like Keith though, man, but I kind of felt bad for Keith, man. I was like, leave that old man alone, man.
Me too. I thought maybe something more would happen, you know. And when he blamed the referee because he said that he was doing like the rope thing, and you know, the referee threw the towel in too fast on him.
That referee saved Keith's life. That referee saved Keith.
He might have saved Keith Thurman.
That referee saved
you know.
Yeah,
you saw what Keith Thurman, you know, you saw the fight. You saw where he was at in the 6th round. I think they ended it in the 6th round, 7th round. It was
round number 6.
It was over, you know. And he was upset with the referee, and you know, he said that he was an amateur, and you know, we can't have these guys doing these. You know,
that referee been around for a minute.
These referees, you got to also remember, they don't want anything. They don't want that on their conscience. They will get a charge too if they don't stop the fight. And, you know, when they see that it's dangerous for the other boxer, you know, you got to show them something. And he says that he was, but from what I see, I would like to see Sebastian Fundora fight somebody who is. I want him to move up in weight.
Yeah.
I don't think he should be at 154. I think that Sebastian Fundora should move up in weight, and I think Sebastian Fundora should be, like you said, 165, 170, 165. Yeah.
He might go down as the biggest weight bully in history. But to touch back on what you just said, you know, as boxers, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you are taught to die in that fucking ring. You're not taught to ever quit. You know what I mean? Like, your corner got to save you. You know what I'm saying? You know. So I agree that Keith Thurman wanted to still fight. But I just think that the referee, he a veteran referee. You know, he's been around again for a minute. And I think that it would have just got really ugly. Like, you saw Keith's face afterwards. Imagine 6 months for that. Imagine that. You know what I'm saying? When you hit a cut, it's going to open up.
Right, right.
So Keith, man, I mean, I respect his heart. I'm sure he would have kept fighting, but he would have got stopped eventually.
Definitely, definitely,
Yeah.
absolutely. You know, and even when you look at the scorecards, you know, who was connecting. I mean, how could you connect on somebody who's so big? You
He
know
was
what I mean?
jumping in
But
the air. He was
right,
jumping
right.
up in
So
the
I was
air
like,
trying
okay,
to.
you gotta attack, you gotta fight him on the inside, attack the body so he can
That's
fold,
what I
and then you
said.
can punch his
That's what
chest.
I
You know,
said. I said, bro, get low and work that fucking body, bro. Slow that
right,
man
right.
down.
So you
You
can
gonna drop
fold
his
him, and then
hands,
you can get up under there. That's the only
man.
way that I can see anybody could beat him in a fight. You gotta attack the body on the inside, fold him, and then you could, you could go for the temple.
That's what I'm trying.
But
That's what I was like, man.
again,
Keep
that's just me
jumping up
being
in
an
the air.
analyst. That's just me being an analyst
No,
looking,
no, you're right. You're right. Keith was jumping. He was jumping up, trying to come on, man, do some Superman shit. Like, nah, Keith.
right. It was crazy. I was just like, what? And I love Keith Thurman.
Yeah, he was
I
trying
like
to
him.
knock him
He's one of my
out.
guys. He's one of my original PBC boys. I loved all the guys that was on PBC. The Charlotte Twins, Haney-Garcia, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, all of them. And I did hear Errol Spence was coming back too.
Ah,
But
that's. I don't want to. I mean, God bless Earl Spence, man, but
I know,
I don't
I
want to. I
know.
don't want to see him get hurt. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. I told my audience. Well, I called the. Well, I was watching it live. The Spence Crawford. I was crying on the inside. I was crying. Danique. I was like, he's already dead. Leave him alone. Like I never knew that somebody could do Earl Spence like that. I mean, he
I was so
obliterated.
shocked when I saw that. I
Yeah,
was
man.
so
I
shocked.
was like, man, I don't want to see him
I'm
never
such an
come back.
Errol Spence fan in my heart that I was like, oh my god,
Yeah, man.
But I love Terrence
I was
Crawford
like,
too. So I was kind of like split down the middle. And Terrence Crawford, he never got the flowers that he deserved. Terrence Crawford was somebody who was a high risk, low reward, and that's why people didn't want to, they didn't want to box him. And then finally, you know, he beat Errol Spence. He beat Canelo. I mean, what else is there really left for Terrence Crawford?
It's
To
all
come
you
back
get.
to?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. He picking on this man. Oh my God. Hey, this dude the
One
GOAT.
second.
Hey, he is the GOAT, man. He is the GOAT, man.
One second. One second. One second.
This is a masterpiece, man. A masterpiece. A masterpiece, man.
One second.
This is the 12th round, man. Get Bud 12 more. Get Bud.
I'm sorry about that. I'm not a computer expert. I still have technical difficulties. I
No, it's
apologize.
okay. It's
I
fine.
apologize, but yeah, my bad about that. Yeah.
No,
I was trying to put up the Fundora Thurman thing while you was
like
talking about
Pandora
it.
fight. Yeah, that was just. I couldn't even believe what I saw there.
Yeah, man. I think he should either retire Thurman or just be. And he good talker. He could talk good. He good talker. I would like to see him do analytic stuff, but I think he done. I hate to see old guys get beat up like that, but yeah. Anyway, but my bad, y'all, man. I'm still trying to. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a computer expert. I barely learned how to set up this live. You know what I mean? So bear with me, y'all. I'm old. I'm an old man. I'll be doing things like this. But thank you. Hey, again, thank you so much. I
It
really
was a
appreciate it.
pleasure. It was a pleasure. I had so much fun.
Yeah. And you actually you're very passionate about what you say, and I can tell that you believe what you say. You're not just saying things because you believe they sound good, or you're not trying to be politically correct. I know it's a lot of women and who talk boxing. They just I'm 50-50, and no, they don't have like a backbone. You stand on what you say, you believe what you say, and I like that.
And that's why I say my boxing POV, because everybody's got a point of view. This is just my point of view.
Thank you. Thank
Like
you.
everybody's got a point of view, but this is what I believe. And I always try to be politically correct because again, I'm not a boxer. I've never laced up a pair of gloves. It wasn't something that my family would ever want me to do, or I wasn't raised to fight in combat sports. but I love the sport, and I am an analyst, and I do analyze the sport.
I can
I've been
tell.
in
I can
many
tell you like
boxing
a real
gyms.
analyst. Yeah, I can
You
tell.
know, I've
You have
been in
like
many
a passion for
boxing
it.
gyms, and I analyze what's going on, and how I think this person should fight, how I think they should be beat. Like I was just saying with Sebastian Fundora, fight him on the inside, buckle him, then you could get his head. You know, so yeah, and I you know, and I never want to be too hard on the boxers, because I know that it takes a lot of guts and glory. It takes a lot of guts to get into that ring. You know, for my entertainment. You know what I mean? I say I'm like, it's like the Romans, and you know I'm the mob. You know I'm not the mob. You know, when
Yeah.
they're in the Coliseum, and you know it takes a lot to get in that ring, and you know I want to always just commend all of them for being able to get in that ring and do what they do for our entertainment. You know, so I can sit here and talk to you about this sport that we love and be on Fox Sports, delivering, you know, my commentary there and the Ryan Show and my boxing POV and, you know, all these different platforms that we're on to, you know, give it to the fans. And I
Yeah.
don't want to make the boxers, you know, I appreciate what they do for our entertainment.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I make I make a living off it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I appreciate it. You know, I just talk today's news. I don't create narratives. One thing about me is I just say the harsh truth. And I remember when I was little, an old lady told me, you can't tell the truth all the time because then nobody's gonna like you. I'm like, okay, damn, good to know. But yeah, now you know, but the people who rock with me, the people who really see what I'm saying, all I'm saying is the truth. You know what I mean? I might give my
Right.
take on the truth, but it is the truth. I will never create a
Right.
fake story, put up some type of fake shit on. It's all
Or
true.
clickbait or, you know, stuff
Yeah,
like
man,
that.
we're not
Yeah.
doing that. We're not doing that. I would never do that. Everything I
No
say is fact
clickbait.
about fact. It's fact, and I
Right.
give my opinion on the fact. I would never create no bullshit. But
No,
yeah,
no, you know,
yeah.
it's true.
But thank you again. I
No
appreciate you.
problem. Thank you for
Everybody go
having
follow me
me.
on TikTok, y'all. My boxing POV on TikTok. The link to everything is right there in the TikTok. Those y'all who be on TikTok, I be on TikTok. That's why I saw you on TikTok. Yeah, that's why I really saw you on TikTok. But yeah, stay on for a minute after this. I'm gonna holler at you. But all right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Till next time, on Southpaw TV. You watching? Oh, my boxing POV on TikTok.
Yes,
Go
my
go
boxing
subscribe.
POV on TikTok and Nikki1020 on social media and on Instagram.
Y'all heard it. Till next time, I'm gone.